gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades.
Yo, what is up? Look at that. I start the stream and he appears magically as if out of the air.
It's a magical ability I have.
Clearly. What's up, man? How's it going, dude? I decided, I guess, and Rick decided to play along, but I had this collector Scum idea. I've been trying to get to a new collection update because the fun never ends here, man. It just keeps the money keeps hemorrhaging out and the shit keeps coming in. And,
new stuff keeps coming out and people keep reissuing shit.
Yeah, why do they keep reissuing and issuing new product? Why?
Well, we all got the scumminess, but some of us just comes out more than others. You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. So, hey, Z Mick, what's up, dude?
What's up,
So
man?
yeah, but this was kind of the thrown together thing late, and then Rick actually hit me up and said, "Hey, you going live now?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" I think why, and he's like, "Well, I was going to do X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Well, just jump on here." Hey, did you hit the simulcast thing on yours?
I don't see that option.
You know what? I haven't seen it the last two times either. What's up with that?
Well, StreamYard did that upgrade thing, so maybe they just changed the tiers, and I don't know. I lost track.
No, that's supposed to be the simulcasting was with everyone. That's kind of weird. I'll look it up when you're showing stuff. Because you're right. I didn't see that little window up there anymore. The last 2 or 3 times I've done this, I only saw it that one night. That
we're just rolling it out and testing it out.
Yeah.
People, just they could charge you up the ass later.
And they are too, dude. They're basically doubling the price. Basically. So
yeah.
What's funny is I have 2 planned events other than tonight. Tomorrow night I got the Anathema Part 1 of the deep dive with Derek Vella from Tomb Mold and Dream Unending, and Steve Jansen from Crypt Sermon and Daiva. So we're doing the first part of the Anathema thing, and then Thursday night, Jimmy, myself, Peter, and Nick from Sea of Tranquility, Nick Franco, we're going to be doing the second part of the Amorphous and wrapping that catalog, although I'm going to give Nick some time to catch up, like 10, 15 minutes, something like that. But yeah, and then my shit ends on that night at midnight. And I have not pledged to renew at this point. I may look at Restream or Streamlab or something like that, because I know that but you know what's going to happen? They'll go up too then when StreamYard does it, everybody, Zoom, they'll all follow suit.
Just whoever the leader is just going to fucking follow the pack.
Right. Yeah.
I know there's a way you can do it. You have to be a little bit technically inclined, but like that OBS has a feature like that. There's some people in the VC who do it that way. But again, it involves a lot of configuring.
Yeah.
And you got to have a good enough computer to be able to keep up with with the frame rate and all that shit.
What's up, Nate? Yeah. So anyway, that's a big pain in the dick that's coming up next week or later this week. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do there. I know Patrick over there at the Vinyl Archivist. He switched to Streamlab, and I think it was like $17 a month. Okay. And they already had several of these things. It is a different platform. It would probably take some getting used to, but any of them are going to be like that, So
yeah,
I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I don't want to pay $44.99 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's the base price. I mean, there's obviously the free tier, but if you want to get 10 heads on this thing, you got to pay $50 a month just for that minimum.
Right.
Yeah,
it is. So I'm thinking that after these next 2 events, you may not see me for a week or 2 or 3 until I can figure something out. So, but anyways, we're going to go over our collection updates. And again, as I said, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. We're doing the part one of the Anathema deep dive, and we'll do the second part later October, early November. Might have another special guest in for that one. And then, as I mentioned, the four guys, again, Nick Franco from Sea of Tranquility is going to join us for the Amorphous thing on the Thursday night at that's at 7 p.m. That I believe. Oh no, wait, no, that's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. on Thursday night. So, anyway, all right, Rick, you wanna start out first? I guess. How much stuff do you think you have? Let me see. I got 6 box sets.
Well, you're going to be disappointed. I don't have any tapes.
Oh man, what a bummer. I got 5 box sets, which I won't spend a lot of time on. I've got 15 CDs and probably 15 LPs. So
you probably have more than me. I do have enough to cover, but mostly vinyl.
okay.
I got a couple of secondhand CDs I picked up. So why not just show them off? Most of them are good. This one I'm a little iffy about, but the rest are all right, I guess. I don't know.
Look at this fucking gatekeeper right here.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. Don't worry. You'll get your fill tomorrow, Brian.
Yeah, right.
I set up what do you call it? A stream for tomorrow night. We can do the announcement at the end of all this and
okay.
All that.
That's good. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to get started?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let me just pull this one real quick. So, where are you on your overkill, man? Like,
I have 2 CDs by them. That's it.
Okay. You probably don't have this one.
I'm not a huge fan, dude. I'm just not crazy about Bobby's voice.
I like some particular albums, though. I gotta say, there's a particular period where I kind of just drop off the band. I'm not very familiar with some of the stuff. And this would include this era, which is like the 2000s, early 2000s, and probably for good reason. I'm like, not that this is a terrible album. I picked it up because it was really cheap. I mean, it's like $2.
Right.
This is the Relic.
Oh.
I think it's Relic 14. I think it's how you say it.
Yeah, it would be.
Came out, was it 04? I think it was. And yeah, you can totally tell it's kind of a product of its time. And I don't know what their heads were at this period. It's okay, but again, I'm glad I only paid $2 for this thing. It's it's not overkill on all cylinders. It's very groove laden. It's got it's still very thrashy. Bobby's still doing his thing, but it's a different brand of overkill. But I don't know. It's a completionist thing in you. If you're gonna pick it up, some people may love it, and that's great. I don't think it's terrible, but it's definitely not amongst the best that I've listened to. Just kind of overall, I don't know how other people feel about it, but it's very much in that period when I wasn't really paying attention to overkill. But, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what's the one that has like the nuclear cooling towers on the front with the skull thing. Oh man, Illuminations on it, I think.
Is that the one with the
whatever the album is has Illumination. That's the one I have. So
that's the one with the eyeballs, the skull shooting the lasers.
I think so. The green.
Yeah,
it's like Electric Requiem or something like that. I don't know. I forget the name. I'm not real good on their stuff, so just never really got into his voice. I just struggle with his voice.
It's not like a band. Again, they're in their Jersey, right? So it's like they're from my neck of the woods.
You feel inclined to love them.
But they've never been like the top of the heap. I appreciate for what they are, what they do. You know what I mean?
Brian's got it. Electric Age. That was it. Yeah.
Their last few albums are pretty good though, man. It's like they've definitely made quite a bit of comeback since this thing. Electric Age, that's a good one too.
Are you said you have vinyl and CD?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go like 2 to your 1, or what do you think?
Whatever you want to do, man.
Okay.
It's
we'll do. We'll go back and forth until maybe if I gotta throw a lot in at the end. So all right. So I will admit, and Rick knows, a few people know that I share some of this shit with Brian too, that I have just gone fucking off the rails the last 3 weeks, I think. Unfortunately, part of that was because I was sick with COVID very, very, very bad. And of course, Rick never gets sick. We go all these places. Rick never gets sick.
Ever since that Decibel, right? Like thing.
I get fucking sick every time we go somewhere. Rick never gets
Oh, I do have something to show. Since we went to that Decibel thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, while he's grabbing that, I don't know where I was going with that shit. Fuck, I forget what. I totally. Oh, you got it framed. Nice.
Yeah, I ended up getting a frame. These things are
great. Yeah.
so damn badass on the wall,
I'm
man.
kicking my ass for not grabbing one of them, and I could have been carrying.
They wanted $20 for it, so
it's a little pricey, but it looks cool in that frame, dude. That looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very hard to get it out of there without getting it creased and bent.
What sucks is though we should have gotten like when we met Rob and Ross and Steve, and then we met Ryford and the guys from Horrendous. I could have gotten a lot of signatures for you on that thing, but oh well.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of room.
Anyway, very cool, very cool. So I don't. Why was I telling the story about you not getting sick and me getting sick? Oh, yeah. So I get it. I got it. So unfortunately, I lie around a lot because of my illness, and my illness is getting far worse. But we won't get into that now. But the COVID really fucking knocked me on my ass, and the only thing that would get me out of feeling awful was to get on the internet and go on various distros and Amazon and shit like that and start buying stuff. You know, that retail therapy was working its magic in my sick brain. And so I bought a lot of shit. And there was I guess I'll start with the box sets because, and I'm going to show 3 at once here. Well,
in your case, you may want to show a few just because you may have more stuff.
Yeah, I'll show a couple here.
You may have more to say.
Yeah, we'll start with box sets. So when we did a stream about 4 weeks ago, I think it was, Eric Berg came on and Logan was on. I want to say it was about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks, middle of August. After I got through bronchitis, before I got COVID, we did a stream and we were hanging out. And I think it was Eric Berg that brought up Joni Mitchell. And I got to thinking that I used to have a couple Joni Mitchell CDs, but I seemed to never listen to them back then, or just wasn't feeling. I had Blue, and I want to say I might have had Lady of the Canyon or Hissing of Summer Lawns or something. I can't remember. But I got rid of them. This is back in the 90s. And then when he was talking about Joni, I was like, man, I kept thinking of Joni Mitchell songs that I really like. And I was like, why don't I own any Joni Mitchell? So, of course, like the next day or 2 days later or something like that, I start jumping on Amazon because I knew she had issued some box sets. What I didn't realize was how many box sets. There's been a fuck ton of box sets coming out in the last 2 years. And basically, they're box sets of her catalog and what she calls the archives. And that is what I ended up getting. But I got steals of deals on these. And I know I went to Amazon. I know a lot of people have a moral dilemma shopping at Amazon. But hey, what's up, Dennis? Good to see you, dude.
What's up, man?
Yeah. But when you're looking for box set stuff or bulk stuff, you're going to save a shit ton of money going there. And you can get the stuff in a day or two normally, right? So I went kind of crazy on Joni Mitchell.
Body of work, man. I didn't realize she's like 80 now. I think.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she is. I think she's 79, and she's the same age as my mom. My mom just turned 80. I think she's 79, and I want to say she's got 16 albums or 17 albums out, but it might be a little less than that. Might be 14 or something.
I mean, I remember seeing her stuff at the door. Someone must have just purged her shit, and all her stuff was there. So I don't know if it's just B-side live material, whatever. But I just know her hits.
Well, I do too, but I also know some of the deeper stuff, and I had some of these albums, CDs, I got rid of them. So I ended up grabbing the first one, which is the Reprise album, 68 to 71. That has, and they all come, and they're really nice. They're like they're almost on par with the Kate Bush box sets, where you get all of them in really, really nice not digibooks, but Japanese card size LPs, jackets, and each one then has the nice little insert for the CD. It's not just plugged into a cardboard sleeve like that. Really nice artwork all the way around. Thick card stock, really beautiful. So first one comes with Clouds. Well, and there's the albums right there. You got Clouds. You got Ladies of the Canyon, which is this one here. You've got Blue, which is kind of her big breakout album in a lot of ways. And then you got her debut, which I believe is this one, Joni Mitchell. And then, so each one of these box sets, I believe there's 3 out right now. I believe there's one more that's coming out this year or early next. And, I know it ain't very metal. I get it. It ain't very metal, but you know me, I'm not always metal all the time. And I fucking love this stuff. I've been really thoroughly getting into it.
I've always thought that Sissy Spacek looked a little bit like her.
Yeah, they do. You're right, man. They do. Yeah, Camos, exactly, man. Woodstock is an amazing song. The whole all these albums are great. I've gotten through this box set. The rest of these I'm working on, but I went for this is the second one, and it's the works from 72 to 75. So you've got Court and Spark. That's a big one for her, huge. For the Roses, Miles of Isles, and then the Hissing of Summer Lawns. Hissing of Summer Lawns has wait, that's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. Court and Spark has Help Me, Court and Spark, Free Man in Paris. Well, I mean, just absolutely amazing, man. And again, same quality of high quality. Hell, this one's even like the album got embossed. Those figures are embossed on it. So really, really nice. Really, really nice package. And then the third one I got was this one. And I got all these for under $30 brand new. So you're talking about $7 a disc. So I can live with that.
Not bad at all, man. I think that considering the body of work and everything you're getting there, I mean, and you're that guy. You're that completion.
And it's a really, really well procured and well printed, and I mean it's big money behind it. It's fucking Warner's and Sony Music and all that stuff. So they're not doing it half-ass, and it's really, really nice. So again, I owe about $100 worth of expenditures to Eric Berg. I will get that out of you at some point, Eric. Just saying. So, all right, your turn. I've got some more Joni coming up, but I'll let you go next.
I got 2 CDs here, right? It's a band that that kind of flew under my radar, and I don't know how many of you guys have heard of this band. So it's from Poland, right? And you want to blow me up? I'll show. It's 2 CDs. So I got this from Nuclear War Now. I don't know if they're still up there. And Erupted Evil. So I'm thinking of like it's Halloween season, right? We're there, and so you kind of get in that mood for that kind of thing. So this band put out I got 1 full length and 1 EP. So here is Ghoul, which is like the full length. This dropped in 2019, I think it was.
Pretty evil looking.
Yeah, and here's the EP, and this is I don't even know how to say it. It's like Tellel. I don't know, but this is their 2021 EP, and so
where are they from?
Fallen Empire, Poland.
Poland. Okay, yeah, that's right. You said that. Yeah.
Fallen Temple.
So black metal or death metal, or
it's death metal. It's cool because, and the reason I mentioned the Halloween thing is because these guys have that. Yeah, you can just look at it. It's got the real spooky shit going on. It's got like the synth. It's got a little bit of the black tinges to it. It's still quite death metal, but you can tell there's a little bit of that. Here, I'll give you an example. Like this one here has an Acheron cover, right? Ave Satanas.
No shit.
So if you know Acheron, they're a little bit there, right?
I saw them at MDF a bunch of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, another band, it's like it's no longer active.
Vincent was in Nocturnus.
Yeah, Vincent Crawley, right? The EP has a Mortician cover. So you're talking about like the whole horror, spooky, kooky thing, the zombie apocalypse over here. So it's at times it gets doomy. Blackened. It's a lot of atmosphere. It's a little bit of cemetery fog stuff going on. So Erupted Evil, man. If you guys haven't checked that out, so they're still active. I mean, obviously they're a new band, but it's a cool little spin for this time of year. Yeah, man. Like I said, Fallen Temple put it out, so I don't know how much distribution and stuff. I got it from Nuclear War, but cool shit.
Cool. I might look into that. That sounds.
Yeah, they got an old sound. Dennis, you dig them if you're looking for like I guess what you call newer band.
They're not like Lurking Corpse, right?
Lurking Corpse.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like
quirky, gothy, deathy, weird, black.
I would say if you like that Asheron direction of death metal,
okay,
but with a little more cemetery fog instead of the more satanic side of things.
Okay,
it might be more.
That's cool. All right, let's see. I've got 2 more box sets. These were really incredible. I don't know what was going on that they were discounting. They must have a ton of them to sell or something, but they were discounting these crazily. So they're called the Archive series. There's 4 out now, and I got 2 and 3. Number 1 was all the really early stuff. I'll probably grab it at some point, but I just didn't jump on that one, and seems to me the price was still kind of high on that. And then 4 just came out, so the price hadn't dropped. But I got these for less than $45. And these are the Archives. This is volume 3. Again, a bracket of years 72 to 75. This one has 5 discs, tons of demos, live acoustic shows, live band shows, Chord Spark demos. What else we got on here? For the Roses early sessions, live at Carnegie Hall, live at James Bay benefit concert, live at Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. So tons and tons of stuff. And again, beautiful. This is like a fold over, large style box. This is probably 8 by 9 by 9, I think, something like that. And each one of these then has, and there is metal coming, folks. Quite a bit of it, actually.
That's not metal?
Yeah. Really nice, softbound, but really nice, thick booklet filled with interviews and anecdotes and everything. And then of course, to keep the cost down, you get cardboard sleeves like this. But they're nice ones, man. Again, really nice cardstock. And so haven't dug into these as yet. I suspect they won't get as much play as the albums. And some people would probably be like, well, why would you buy all that shit if you maybe never will listen to it only once or something like that? It's like, that's a good question. It's a great question. I don't know that I can answer it. Sickness. And then here's volume 2, which again is 68 to 71. And again, you get the same thing. You get a book and, the whole 9 yards. So really pleased with these. So now, Eric Berg, if you're watching, the cost just went from $90 up to about $170. So that's what you're on the tab for when I come looking for my money.
Hey, Frosty.
Yeah. Hey, Frosty. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? What's up, Rick? Tim?
Right.
Come on, man. All right. Your turn, dude.
You know what? Let's pull some. If I can find the. Where the hell is that shit? You think you have everything in order, and it's just completely not what you expected.
I'm just random pulling at this point. I don't really care.
Yeah. So, you like French heavy metal, right?
I do.
You like stuff like.
I got some French heavy metal in tonight's thing. So go ahead.
Yeah, I have a feeling you might be pulling that one band. Now, they're not as good as that band, but it's a very adjacent to that sound.
Is
Obviously,
anybody as good as that band?
is there? So this is a new band, female fronted, but hitting that Sortilege influence, right? And this is more tierras.
Ah, look at that.
Ron den Noort, which is, I guess, I think this means murderers.
Okay, interesting.
Again, I'm really up on my French.
Yeah.
But like everything else, obviously it's all in French. But very triumphant shit, man. It's got a lot of energy, packed with a lot of riffs, and you know what I mean. Like I said, if you left stuff in this vein already, and you're looking for something kind of bands and that kind of influence, definitely worth looking into, man. This is
How'd you hear about them?
Gates of Hell. It's my local shop had it. This shop in Jersey, and they had a couple classics sitting there. I looked at this cover. I'm like, man, this looks like it might be cool. I did it.
So you bought it based on the cover mostly?
Pretty much.
That's great though. That's awesome.
Gates of Hell put it up though. I picked up quite a few things from there before.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm usually not disappointed.
You kind of know. You kind of know the label. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of cool that you did that, because it's kind of like hearkening back to how we bought a lot. Well, me in particular, how I bought a lot of shit in the late 70s and early 80s, man. I mean, key of that would be Rush Hemispheres. I didn't know who Rush was, but I saw that album cover, and I was like, the naughty side of it was, oh my God, there's a naked guy's butt.
I was going to say, is that what drew you in? It's like
yeah, that's what it was. It was just fantasizing about naked dudes' asses. Hey, Frederick, what's up, man? But it just intrigued me. The guy in the bowler hat, the brain, and this thing doing a pirouette on there. This naked dude, and what's weird about that is I was in 7th grade when that came out, and after that tour went through, there was a dude in 8th grade that I knew who was a total stoner burnout by 8th grade. Like, this dude was like, if he's still alive, I'd be shocked. But he used to go to all these concerts with his older brother, and he comes in with a Rush Raglan baseball jersey on, and it's got the naked guy in the start. I'm like, I gotta know about this band. And somehow I think I took a chance on Hemispheres and grabbed the album, and well, you know the rest, Rick. What?
I got a question, man. Those Raglan things on band tees, like how long was that thing? What you'll recall when those things
started in the 70s.
All right,
I don't know exactly when or where, but that was the style back then. You didn't actually have T-shirts; you had those baseball jerseys. So when you went,
the baseball jerseys are around, but the idea of putting band like logos and shit on them, like
when did that start?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, they probably in the early 70s with the decals, the heat transfers. Because in 1976, man, maybe it was 77, but I think it was 76. I got a T-shirt at the beach that had the Boston spaceships on the front of it in sparkly rainbow colors on this dark blue T-shirt, and it was a heat transfer. And that was when I think that kind of started, like when the first Silk screening started. the 80s, I would think. Maybe. Well, no, it had to have been before then, because I had Rush shirts from 80. Yeah, it was either late 70s or early 80s. They switched over to using oil-based inks that you would dry on it, for silk screening. But before that, it was the heat transfer, and it was I had a shirt from 1976 when I was 10 years old of Boston. So it had to have started right in around that time.
Yeah, the problem with those things, man, you give them a few washes, it's like you already see the fading already start to happen. So I don't know how well they stood up. Obviously, silk screening is probably the one that holds up the best.
Oh yeah, by far, yeah. I just got this. You'll see this again tomorrow night. It just came in yesterday. I am so stoked to have this.
Oh, cool.
But
yep,
it's it's DTG, which is the directed garment printing. So it's not the same type of oils, and from what I understand, they don't last as long. But as if you take care of them and you wash them in warm,
Yeah.
not hot, warm or cold, and then you air dry them, you never let them near a heater, then you should be fine. So, yeah. So I have I have like 350, maybe close to 400 shirts, something like that in stain.
I remember in the 80s,
And I
man, like
keep buying them.
when I started going to school, like the whole DIY heat transfer shit was huge. And I remember the kids coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember one year I was maybe in second or third grade, and there was that show Mask was big. It was like the cartoon. So I had a heat transfer shirt made of that. Was like a DIY. So I thought I was the shit with that.
Yeah. And you're right, Tim. A lot of times the heat transfers would bubble.
Yeah.
And they'd start peeling from the very edges. So, and what bothers me is I bought a Goblin shirt from Night Shift, and it came, and it's a form of a decal. It's not a silkscreen, and I didn't send it back, and I'm kind of pissed. Also, a zombie shirt like that too. Like I in this day and age, I'm kind of like, what? There's thousands of screen printers out there.
Yeah.
You can't fucking, people will pay. If you're charging people $30, which most are 35 now, and you're not doing a heat transfer, you're doing you're doing a heat transfer. They make them look better now, but they're still a form of like heat adhesion as opposed to spraying the inks into the fabric, and then baking it on. But anyway, so where were we? Your
Depends on the art too, man. If you want something that's amazingly detailed and photographic and all that shit, there's certain ways you got to go.
Yep, and the really good screen printers and the people that vector up that stuff, like you guys did all that stuff for me for the shirt.
Yeah.
That Lee did.
Line art's probably the easiest.
Huh?
Line art, it's probably the easiest if you're going to silk screen.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a real art to doing those shirts and doing them well. Getting the design set up and everything. So, all right, I think you're up, right? Or was it me?
I just showed the what do you call it? Yeah, the French band.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. All right. So last of the box sets, I believe. I don't think I have anything else coming in this box set, but I will have enough shit in the next 10 days to easily do another update. So, because there's a lot of stuff coming. I got a big ass order. Finally, I dropped a big one on Matt out at Dark Descent, man. I just had a fuck ton of stuff that was in my cart that I'm like, oh, I never ordered this? Oh, fuck. I'm doing it. Anyway, last of the box sets. So this is called Intrigue. This is the Stephen Wilson procured progressive sounds in the UK alternative music scene 79 to 89. 4-disc set. And a really cool booklet in here on each of the tracks, and a lot of work went into this, man. I mean, it's like very detailed, like Steven chose all these tracks, and then there's a write-up on each of these tracks in here, and then Steven puts his thoughts in here. Very well done. This is through Edsel Demon Music Group. I don't know who that is. Demon Music Group. It's London. But 4 CDs. And what's great about this is, man, there's so much variety. And it's introducing me to some bands that I've heard of that I didn't know sounded like what they do on here. And a lot of bands I'm like, fuck, I never heard of them. It's, again, 79 to 89. So it's all pretty much the 80s. But got bands on here like Wire, Magazine, Bill Nelson from Bebop Deluxe, his band called Red Noise, Public Image Limited, that's Johnny Rotten's band after the Sex Pistols, the Stranglers, Stranglers are so good, Ultravox, Gang of Four, Simple Minds, Doriti Column, Johnny Fox, Robert Fripp and the League of Gentlemen, In Camera, Joy Division, Art Nouveau, Gary Newman, Echo and the Bunnymen, New Order, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, Japan, The Cure, Thomas Dolby, Rupert Hine, Tears for Fears, Peter Hamill, Cocteau Twins, Scott Walker, David Sylvian, Propaganda, Kate Bush, This Mortal Coil, The Sisters of Mercy, Momus, Dead Can Dance, The No Man, The Shaman, and Kitchens of Distinction. So, I mean, so many killer tracks on here. I got this for 35, which when it dropped like way down. I don't know if you can find it for that now, but man, this one is like an eye-opening thing for me because I love 80s music and thought I knew a lot about 80s music, but man,
No, that's a nice rounded list, man. You got new wave, synth pop. I mean, you've got a little bit of mixed bag of everything, even some goth.
Yeah.
It kind of it's a good if you like anybody just exploring the 80s, especially if you weren't around the 80s, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of like a Metal Blade. What were they called? The
Metal Massacre.
Yeah, the Metal Massacre comps and stuff like that. That's kind of what that is. You know, it's got. I don't think there's anybody. There's XTC's in there, early XTC, not the radio pop stuff. The two first XTC albums are pretty white punk, man. They're pretty intense. So,
yeah.
Wait, I got it at Amazon. Yeah, I gotta listen to that Radical Research. I saw they did that a couple months ago. I gotta get on that. I gotta get after Jeff and Hunter to come on and do an episode with me on obscure Swedish prog. But anyway, go ahead. Your turn, right?
Yeah. I'll pull something here. So I didn't realize there was a different cover to this. It looks like the Canadian pressings have the more squiggly line looking kind of thing. So I picked up Last Rites, and so it's cool to finally have it on mine. I've had that CD for forever, but I figured this is one of my favorites. Too Dark Park between this,
yeah, those two
are among my favorites. But yeah,
they're all amazing up to the process.
I was just a little disappointed how like bare bones it is. It's like it's cool to have it on wax, but it's really just like nothing.
Oh wow. Is that a recent repress or
2020? Yeah.
Okay.
Network.
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's theirs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Network has Delirium. Bill Leaves, Delirium, Reese Fulbert, Delirium, Noise Unit, I think, a bunch of all those guys. I don't know if they own Network or if Network. I don't know what the thing is. I
guess they're hopping again on a vinyl trend because this thing has not seen vinyl since '92.
Oh yeah,
man. Like it's like.
When did you get that?
Last week.
Where did you get it from?
Same shop in Jersey.
You bought it in the store.
I've been buying
from
the record store.
Was that the only one they had?
Far as I know, I mean, if you're in the market for one, I can see if they have.
What's the name? What was the name of the label again? Oh, Network. Yeah, Network. I'll hit up Network site and see what's up.
Cool.
There we go. Okay. CDs now. I'll do 3. All right. So very random here, man. Like all over the map with stuff. Let's start with the latest Portnagar. What's it called? Fall.
Yeah,
Huh?
I still need to get that.
Really good, man. Really, really good. That first song, Summits, is fucking killer, man. The next, this is amazing. But I'm always kind of stunned by how good. They don't change around a lot. They're kind of not samey, but they have some, like later day Amorphous vibes to them, where it's kind of a little bit of a formula. but they always are very entertaining and good, and or to great, good to great, or incredible. So, yeah, I need to give this more spins, but that's one. And then this goes back to that last stream we did about a month or so ago, where Eric coaxed, triggered me to buy all the Joni Mitchell. Well, Logan triggered me to buy this because I used to have this, and I haven't seen it in years. And I think I either left it somewhere or traded it and didn't realize it. I have Blues for the Red Sun. That's him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an early
first one, I think. Yeah. And I dug that, and I love this too, but I don't know where it got to. It's just, I don't know, it's just gone. So, yeah, Sky Valley, fucking classic. And then this one I found on. I didn't really need this because thanks to Rick, I got the actual Record Store Day copy of this. All the stuff that's on this CD is on the vinyl plus a lot more. And that would be the Fields of Nephilim. What's it called? Gehenna? Is that what is it called? Or
yeah, the red. You talk about the red cover, right?
Yeah, the red one. I forget the name of the damn release but anyway. So I found this. This is the 2003 or 1 or something like that. Actual CD of those two EPs. The two EPs being Burning the Fields and Returning to Gehenna. But they did reissue all this material on a very limited, I think 400, I think it was 400 LPs, red LPs on that Record Store Day thing back in April, but I can't remember the damn name of it. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's just not coming to me. But this is the CD version of all those tracks. Sans all the new material that got added. The
Burning the Fields.
Burning the Fields. That's what it's called.
I was burning something. I remember.
Yeah, Burning the Fields. Yeah. And so yeah, that's a cool one, man. I mean, I'm glad I ran across that because on eBay, this thing was going for $45-$50, and I went on to Amazon and found it for $10.
Yeah, so, $50 for a CD, man. That is ludicrous.
Yeah, that ain't happening unless it's like a 5-set, a 3 or 5 set deal or something like that. So,
yeah,
all right, what you got?
Let's do. Sure, I'll pull 2. So, found this one on the cheap. I'm just sitting there and I'm wondering, man, this is one I had was it Festering Earth was the first one, and then Reduced to Sludge I didn't have. Funerus. This is
what's the name of the band? Funerus.
Funerus.
All right, what are they?
This is the McEntee and his wife's, ex-wife now, band.
Oh. Yeah,
so this is the last thing they put out. It's no longer active. But yeah, they've been around a long time, man. They're I think they were still Pennsylvania at the time when they were dropping this stuff. So being that this is the last thing they put out, I mean, none of the original members are there. I think what's his name, Jill came on a little later, but it's a cool listen, man. It's I mean, it definitely has the incantation influences and all the stuff in there. This one has who's the dude that drums for Morpheus Descends is on this one.
Okay, I don't know his name, but
yeah, man. Scratch an Itch. I don't know if I like it more than the Festering Earth, but it's still pretty good. I kind of wish they kind of kept together and they're able to release at least one more, but nevertheless still cool to have. Another one with a similar color palette. It's let's do some heavy metal. This is out of Canada, and I got Advance and Vanquish. That's the only one I owned. So I said, I need more 3 Inches of Blood. Don't know if you're a fan.
I don't really know him. I know the name. I see it around a lot, but I just never checked him out.
Here Waits Thy Doom. Cool stuff, man. If you they actually are playing the Milwaukee Metal Fest next year.
So
So I know they took a long hiatus or a bit of a hiatus. Who's that dude? That the vocalist Cam? I think Cam Pipes. Man, he's got some pretty amazing vocals, man. He kind of hits in that sort of that Halford, a little bit of Udo.
Okay. What's their main genre classification if you had to narrow it down?
It's power metal. It's heavy power metal.
Okay.
Again, if you like Priest and kind of stuff in that vein, I think you might dig them. But again, it's quite up there. Even a little bit of Queensryche, but without all the proggy.
Okay. Why wouldn't I like that? I'd probably love that.
Yeah, I
just never checked them out. I don't know why.
This is the older one. Dropping. I think this is from 2009. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to try that. That sounds cool.
Strangers of Blood, man. Yeah. Again, they're doing shows again.
All right. What else do I got here? What else do I got here? We'll do that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gearing up to do a deep dive, kind of like a deep dive, but more like a primer, I guess you could call it, for this band. Kind of one of the OGs as far as electronic, experimental electronic, and I'm talking about Coil. So I've been grabbing up quite a bit of Coil here recently. I'm going to do this. This, I believe, is a Greek issue of all kind of mixed, unreleased tracks that weren't on other things. I don't know where I ran across this. Amazon, maybe, I think. But if you don't know about Coil, well, that's a good reason to come stop by and watch our deep dive that I'm going to be doing with John Halm and Stunty from Stunt Rock Confusion. We're going to do this deep dive. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be the end of October, maybe, or early November, because I still have other stuff ahead of it in the queue. But so this is, like I said, it's a compilation, a guide for beginners, The Voice of Silver, a guide for beginners, A Hair of Gold. 2 different albums there of tracks. And then Time Machines, which is a dark ambient drone album. That's really, really fucking cool, man. Because I love ambient drone, and that's a really good one right there. So those Coil CDs to add to the collection. And then I've mentioned this before, whether it'll ever get done or not, who knows. But one of my favorite bands that like defies like the metal shit is, I love the Church, the band The Church. And The Church is best known for the song Under the Milky Way. I wish I had, Anyway, I love that fucking band. I love Steve Kilbey. He is a songwriting poet and machine, man. And I've been chasing one of his solo albums. Finally found a cheap copy. This is called Painkiller. And man, is it fucking awesome. Very churchy, of course, because he is the Church and wrote almost everything in the band. So, and I hope to get to doing a Church deep dive. It will probably just be me, because I don't think I can get anybody else to join me for that. But
can help you there, man.
Yeah, I would struggle to find somebody that knows the Church.
Though Camos is watching, it's a huge ambient fan.
Cool, man. And then I finally went and did the deed here. I need 2 more Sabbath albums to complete the Sabbath collection. I need the 7th Star Tony Iommi thing, which I'm eyeballing something right now for. And I need the last one with Ozzy, the 13. I can get that anywhere, anytime. But the one that I didn't have that I think some would be kind of surprised with would be I'd never had this album, and
Hmm.
I love and hate this album. I love the songs. I love the riffs. I even love Gillan, but the production is just fucking awful. It is just like listening to it through a fucking sandstorm, man. It just sounds so fucking terrible.
That was not the greatest time for the band. I do like that album. I don't love it. Like, there are ones like definitely more of my go-tos, but where the band was at the time, I mean, Dio left. It's kind of like just scrambling, trying to get themselves back together, and trying to really figure out how to move forward. And then we know what happened after that. It's just like it didn't get better.
Camo, so I'll speak that in on one sec here. So this has the this is the original album, and then there's 2 bonus tracks, and then there's Live at the Reading Festival, August 27th, 85. This is a 2011 Sanctuary reissue, so it's not going to have clean-up audio, but it is the whatever they call it.
If Tony gives it the attention like what he did with Forbidden.
Well, I think that's what the plan is. I think they're going to remix this album and then put out one of those deluxe box sets of it, which then I'll be buying again. Something fucking stupid.
That's the thing, man. They have a way to make us keep buying it over and over. Like my
copy. The sad thing is with some of these giant box sets, man.
Yeah.
You don't progress. I will always listen to everything at least once.
Yeah.
Does that mean I go back to a lot of it? No. But I have it. I own it. I know that someday it'll be worth millions.
There's like that feeling of that burning hole, like knowing that you got all this other stuff, but this is missing. And that bothers people more than others, of course. It depends on the band.
Hey, let me address that real quick.
Yeah.
Question there. Yes, Carlos, I love Thomas Coder. I have I'm gonna a Daikan. Is the other one called Polar or I can't remember the other one. I can see the cover, but I can't remember the name of it. And then is it Unforgetty Schwabite or whatever that is? Whatever. It's German, so I don't know how to say it, but Unforgetty Schwablada or whatever it is. I love that album. The one with the maps and all that shit. I mean, that's killer dark ambient, man. Killer dark ambient. Anybody that doesn't know Thomas Kohner, he's one of the OGs of dark ambient, along with like Lustmord and Tangerine Dream to an extent. Maybe started it with Zeit. So Thomas Kohner, really awesome. I have at least 3, maybe 4 CDs, like OGs from back when that was the thing. So good question. All right, Rick, you're up.
All right, let's do.
You have vinyl too, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I already showed.
Oh, okay.
Here's a band. A lot of people may not know unless you follow this particular kind of thing, but pretty cool. Actually, I caught a review on it, and it sounded intriguing. And this is from India. It's black metal from India.
Oh yeah,
from New Delhi. Yeah, and it's called Rat or Rot. I don't know how. RAAT. Enchantment. So it dropped this year.
Wow, look at that.
And I've been digging it. It's kind of it's a one-man thing. There he is right there. And another one is kind of evading me. It's already several albums in. I don't know if this is the 4th or 5th release, but this is the latest one. So I'm gonna go and look into more of the back catalog. But it's kind of like it's post black, and it gets kind of shoegazy, at times. I mean, there are times it kind of strays into the more traditional black metal moments. So it kind of teeter totters in between, ebbs and flows between that. But it does have a bit of a somberism to it when you listen to it. Excellent drum performance. Everything is there. There's nothing here that sounds processed or fake. It's this is somebody who really knows what they're doing. Really dig it. Flowing downward. I think whatever that label is, pulled it out. I don't know if it's you know this one, Tyler. RAAT Enchantment from India. But yeah, again, shoegazy, a little post black.
It's pretty cool. I like that cover. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's if this painting is original to this album or if it's just something they licensed or whatever, but
yeah,
it's cool nevertheless. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I gotta give it a couple more spins, but it may be on my list for the year. Maybe not top 10, but somewhere in there.
Are you doing a top 600 like Nick is, or?
Give me a few months.
I'm just doing 24, man. Top 24 or 24. And I already have, I don't know, about 36 in there right now.
As usual, it's hard, man. It's damn hard.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I got 10 down yet. Like it's just.
I have like 36, but I have ones in there that are like, okay, well, Opeth's in there. Because realistically, is it not going to be in the top 24? Unlikely. I mean,
you like what you heard so far. Blood Incantation's got
right. Blood Incantation, which I already heard half of. That's was amazing, absolutely amazing. So that's going to be there. What was the other thing that? Fuck. Oh man, I totally lost track of where I was going with that. Yeah, there's like the new Jerry Cantrell. I've heard 2 songs off that already, and I love it way more than I did. It sounds like Degradation Trip, more like that. So.
There you go, Frederick. You mentioned the new Uncle Acid, right? That's one I was not expecting. And the more I spin it, the only thing is it is a time investment. It's a little long. It's going for that giallo. Approach. So it's something a little different.
Who's this?
The new Uncle Acid.
I don't know them.
Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats.
I know that name, but where are they from?
The UK. It's like stoner, doomy, psychedelic, acid trippy kind of stuff. The new one, it's more of a it's a soundtrack for a movie that doesn't really exist. They got actual composers from who's done the Argento Giallo movies to kind of contribute to the project. So it sounds like it'd be up your alley, man.
Huh? Yeah, that definitely sounds like it'd be up my alley.
And yeah,
I know the name. They've been around a while. They've been
around a little while,
20 years or something like that.
I kind of look at them as like Electric Wizard's kind of not been doing anything lately, and the last couple releases are like, eh. So I feel like for me, they're like kind of like they fill that gap for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though they don't really sound like what do you call it, Electric Wizard, but you can hear those influences kind of in there.
Yeah, if it sounds like Goblin, I'm in, man. I fucking love Goblin.
Yeah, I think a little bit of all that stuff.
Overdosing on those soundtracks here lately, man. In fact, that's what I've been listening to the most. I've got to get through a lot of these things I just showed. So, all right, you got something else?
I could pull something else. Let's get this one out of the way. So I'm late on this one. Came out quite a few months back, but the latest Gatecreeper.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good. The thing about this band is they do have a sound, there's a Gatecreeperism kind of sound, but at the same time, their sound kind of changes. So you'll never really know what you're gonna get. And for those of you who don't know, so Lee, Heavy Art Talk, did a pretty cool interview with Chase Mason over here, and just kind of going over kind of ideas, just things with the art world, but also kind of the influences of what's been going on with the band. But really cool.
Yeah, that was on Lee's channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just saw those guys this past Tuesday.
Yeah,
in-
yeah.
in
That's all.
Baltimore.
Yeah, picked it up. I know sometimes like it's not for everybody. I know sometimes the vocals can be something that's a little.
That's what I struggled a little bit with. He's kind of a mix of hardcore and death, and it's a weird sort of bark. It just has.
But the hardcore is not so overt. Like it's
No,
not.
it's
some bands
right
are
on the
keeping that
line. It's right on the line. It's right on the line. But the problem is, for me, that was the least good thing about the show, their set, and the music was great. Really cool, man. I mean, they have a cool, spooky, sort of thrashy, sort of desert sludgy metal sound, death metal sound. That's cool.
at times, but here they're like quite a bit melodic.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Dark Superstition. Like,
Yeah.
it's all over, man. Like it's.
Yeah, they played a bunch that album, and they were fun live, man. I mean, it was cool. It was funny because after Frozen Soul left, the crew was setting up the stage and drum kit and all that shit like that, and they were sending out smoke from the fog machine thing or whatever.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, all the fucking fire alarms go off in the place. And they're just going on and whip, whip, whip. And here, like, I was standing there talking to Phil from.
So that wasn't part of the show. Okay.
No, I was standing there talking to Phil Tugas from Worm. And he's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, that's fire alarms, dude. He's like, what? So they had to get out these big, tall ladders, like industrial ladders, climb up about 18 feet in the air because it has a big the floor to ceiling is probably 25 foot in there, and they got it shut off. But it was just kind of Spinal Tap-ish, It was funny. So, but I was supposed to come down to the show in Philly because we were going to meet and go to that show on Wednesday, but I realized I had a very early neurology appointment on Thursday, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta be as fresh as I can.
You had a feeling, you had something going on there. Then it was the show. I was like, you know what? So I don't know. It wasn't really the night for me anyway. I had too much stuff going on, and it just wasn't.
That's cool, but I mean, I ended up going to the Tuesday night show in Baltimore because Phil threw me on the guest list, which was very kind of him. So I hadn't even really planned to go. I was kind of going, all right, it's I'm just not gonna be able to see this one, and then that opportunity presented itself, and I took advantage of it, and I'm glad I went. It was a really, really fun show. All three bands were great. Worm was really good this time, man. I mean, they were great when we saw them, but I think they were better this time, man. Really, honestly, quite a bit better. And Frozen Soul's fun, man. They're a
that was our I like to tell people,
people's band. They're a people's death metal band.
Even if like I guess that flavor of death metal is not like your main bag, like I still say check them out live. Yeah, I mean they're fun, man. It's like you see them on stage, like just a lot of energy. It's just
really engaging, man. Super engaging. Yeah. They get, and that was cool. The venue we were in, there was a stairway out front right up onto the stage, and he was telling people to get up, stage dive, and next thing you know, there's just a procession, mostly the same people, the same 5 or 6 people. But they had a good pit. They had a pretty slamming pit going, and because he'd be like, circle pit. It was like, I was way off to the side, by the stage and just kind of observing. But
you're like, I ain't getting that shit, man.
No.
Anybody with gray hair is probably all in your
his old man don't belong in that shit anymore. He found that lesson out in May at Maryland Death Fest in the Sodom pit when he thought he was going to be something, do something stupid. Yeah, so that's the end of that era. One and done, but good fun there. All right, here's another raft of CDs. I'm getting close to the end after this batch. So 2 been really loving. So Chelsea Wolfe, the new one here. I think this is her second one. I just love this girl, man. Just amazing voice, killer songwriting, great band. A lot of experimentation between these two albums. Really cool. Chelsea Wolfe.
She's a hard one to sticking up. Where would you stick her in a genre? I'm like, I don't even know, man. Like, she's
Well,
just
it's almost like shoegaze, death, doom, folk, dark folk,
but at the same time, it's not
electronic.
It's not really
Electronic.
not really metal
No.
per se, but I could see why metalheads would like it. You know. What
Well,
I mean?
yeah. If you see her live stage or her live presentation, she comes off metal as fuck. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. She's badass. No joke about that. Her live performances are breathtaking. And you know, I've been really getting into her and grabbing the rest of the catalog, and then Emma Ruth Rundle, which you'll see in a minute here, also has become a monster favorite. Which is, you know, these are artists I should have checked out 10 years ago.
I actually got another female artist to check out. I didn't think of it to pull it tonight, but since you pulled that, I think I could probably pull that too. So
that you just got in?
I've had it a few weeks now. So I'll do the reveal. Again, I didn't pull it because I didn't, you know, it was a few weeks.
Go grab it. I'll wrap up with a couple here. But, so the first Edge of Sanity, Nothing But Death Remains. I'm sorry, yeah, right? Yeah, Nothing But Death Remains. This is the new reissue through Century Media Inside Out. If you want to learn more about this, go check out my interview with Dan Swano. I did it about a month ago, maybe 5-6 videos ago. If you look back in the playlist, it'll be in there. We talk about Purgatory, and we talk about this one. And I didn't have this when I interviewed with him, but really nice 2-disc slipcase edition. Really cool stuff there. Another Coil compilation of the EPs for Moon's Milk in 4 phases. I love this thing, man. It's super ambient and dark and electronic and glitchy and EDM-ish. It's really fucking cool, man. Kamas, you might like this one here if you don't have that. Moon's Milk in 4 phases by Coil. All right. And the last one here, and then Rick can go. I've really gotten into Dodem's Garden now. I kind of am in a wormhole of Yusuf Parvez material. He's just a genius. So I'm snagging up all of the Dodem's Garden catalog, and this is Umbra Omega. I've not listened to this yet, so but I'm sure I'm gonna like or love it because this guy is just a wacky genius. He's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I like the cover.
Yeah. All right, I got about 6 more CDs to do. 7 actually, and then we'll jump into vinyl for me. Then, where are you at?
Yeah, I got a few vinyl. I
Okay.
two more CDs. I can knock just these CDs out.
Okay.
Secondhand stuff. This is actually a band from PA. I don't know how. This is a band that I never hear anybody talk about, even though they've been around for quite a while. So if you're into that sort of progressive metal, like that flavor of that Dream Theater, like Symphony X kind of stuff, Shadow Gallery.
Oh yeah.
This is their Tyranny album, and when did this come out? Late 90s, I think. So Magna Carta put this out. I think Magna Carta did.
Yes.
Frequentation Experiments. They have a few other releases.
Yep. They had like Dolly's Dilemma, Ice Age, Tiles, I think was on there. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of those kind of prog band type stuff.
But yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty meticulous, man. You can tell they spent a lot of time in the studio. I didn't know they don't play shows. They didn't play their first show until like not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah. So they put, maybe that's another reason why they're a little under the radar. Versus some of the other
Not
contemporaries.
overly exposed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good stuff. Glad I picked it up on the cheap.
That's
And
cool.
I would tell people, if you like this kind of thing, you look into this band, grab it on the cheap while you still can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm slowly filling in, but I do have a couple. But this Mortification I didn't have, and that was sitting there too. So $5. And Envision Evangeline, and so this is a 96, I think. So this is a period when they were releasing an album like every year. And right around this time period, you can tell they're kind of moving away from that old school, early kind of style of death metal, and they're trying a little more experimentation. There are even times when they kind of tease that prog line with some of the riffing, but it's quite melodic than their previous material.
I'm not familiar with them. What's it called again?
Yeah,
Mortification.
Mortification. They're the name that comes up when you think about Christian death metal.
Okay.
They're that band.
Where are they out of?
Australia.
Wow. I'll check that one out.
But yeah, it's just another one. It's I like it, man. It's not my favorite. It's a little weird, but it's not a whole lot of convention. I can say, especially when you compare it to some of the really early material. I kind of dropped off after a while. It was just not, But I think after this it was kind of like, But this and back, I would say is probably
real quick to Chris and Wade. I believe the plan for Swano's back catalog is to reissue. He implicated that Moon Tower was going to be done, that all the Edge of Sanity stuff and Nightingale stuff is part of that deal. He didn't say anything about Panthymonium, or I don't know about any of the other things that he was involved in, but I know that the plans are to do all the Nightingale and EOS stuff.
I'm still itching for the self-titled, man, that Dan Swano that came out back in the late 90s. That's a really good one. And I didn't hear anything about that being reissued. But
yeah, I don't know if that's
I don't know if it's
that's part of the deal. I mean, he kind of intimated that everything that he owns, they bought for this extensive reissue sort of thing, but I just don't. I don't. He wouldn't answer directly what's the next set is or anything like that. He just sort of implied. And then when I said, "Well, what about Moon Tower?" Because that's probably my favorite thing you've done, and he's like, I cannot say, but I would think that all of Dan Swano's catalog would be part of that. I'm like, okay, all right. So, yeah, but they're Osmos. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe those he couldn't because of licensing. I don't know, but
maybe he just doesn't want to get our hopes up either in case something doesn't fall through or whatever.
Well, that's true. That's a good point too. Yeah, but these reissues, the Edge of Sanity one I just showed, Nothing But Death Remains. They from what I can tell, they're going fast, and that won't be a large print run. That maybe they did 15,000, maybe 10,000, maybe 15,000, and maybe they exceed, maybe they sell out, and everyone reorders, and they got to print up another batch. I don't know.
It's hard to know, man, with that kind of thing because it's very anticipated, but also the price of vinyl now it's ludicrous at the same time. So it's hard to really gauge.
Well, the vinyl is limited. Vinyl was limited
to that.
I think the vinyl was limited to either. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but was it 400 or was it 2,000? That's a big difference.
400 sounds a little too limited.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That 400 sounds too little. Maybe it's 1,000 total, but it's not a big number. It's not a 10,000 print run or something like that. No, and and what I meant by the CDs is the slipcase doubles. They'll probably sell out. I don't think they're going to be like, you know, a mass marketed run where it's like 100,000 copies of the slipcase ones. I don't think they do that because he's not that big of an artist. I would think 10,000 max, maybe even less. So, you know, but anyway, so yeah.
Speaking of, we were just talking about Swano. I forgot to mention, like, that Funerist I showed, Swano like mastered that too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Just found that out recently.
Oh, cool. All right, you're done CDs?
Yep.
All right, I'll zip through mine quick, and then we'll get to do vinyl and try to get out of here in under 2 hours. Okay. So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I have Derek Vella from Two Mold and Dream Unending coming on with me, and also Steve Jansen from Crypt Sermon and Daiva. They're coming on with me to do the first part of the Anathema deep dive, 1990 to 2001, all the albums and EPs. And there was three things I was missing, actually. The Crestfallen EP, which you're going to see in a minute, but it's on vinyl. And then these two right here. So Falling Deeper was from 2011, I think. And it's all orchestrated versions of the early Darren White era, the Death Doom metal era, the more Death Doom as opposed to the proggy arty band that they became. These are beautiful orchestral arrangements with Danny and Dave Stewart, who used to be in XTC, arranging orchestra for all these older songs like Sleep and Far Away, and I mean, just They Live, They Die, and you know, just a bunch. I can't read them here, man. Crestfallen, Kingdom, Everwake, We the Gods. So all the old stuff. This is amazing. So I'm glad I picked this up. And then I did not have, nor did I really listen to this one, the last one, The Optimist. I saw them on this tour, but I really didn't even know the album at the time because I just found out they were playing in Baltimore and decided on a last, you know, like literally I found out about the gig. It was like 2 days later. I'm like, oh, fuck, I guess I'm going alone. And I ended up coaxing my brother to go with. And I liked what I heard, and I listened to this like once, but I didn't own a hard copy, so I grabbed the last Anathema. So now I have everything on CD and vinyl, which you'll see in a minute here. I also decided to grab this. This is the last Isan from late last year. It's just self-titled. I listened to this back when it came out, and it was before I had money. And I still don't have money, but that's for a different reason. Because I keep buying all this shit. But yeah, I wanted to get this back when it came out, and it's very Nightside Eclipsey, I think. It's got that big, epic, progressive.
Wait, asking, is that the orchestral version?
Yeah. No, it's the regular one. Yeah, it's the regular one. But there's orchestra in it, though, all over it. All right. This just got here yesterday. Yesterday. Shadow of the Sun Over. It was one of the last pieces I needed in the Over catalog. I still need a few, one or two, I think. There's a couple things I need, but this was one that was hard to come by. And I finally saw a copy go up on eBay for about $6 more than I really wanted to pay for it, but I just bit the bullet. And this album is absolutely
also worth mentioning, man. Ever since his tour passed away, man. Like,
yeah,
with the band, it's
We don't know. We don't know. They say they're going to keep going. So there's that. This just came in yesterday. I don't know how I got onto this, but I realized I have everything from Paradise Lost but the last two and this one. And I'd never even listened to this. So Friday night I listened to this and I'm like, fuck, I gotta have that, man. And found
Oh yeah, man, that's essential.
oh, this is fucking killer, man. They just the godfathers of Death Doom.
Yeah.
They're the OGs right there. And then one of the last, if not the last thing I needed in the Tribulation catalog is I love this band. Can't wait for the new album. This is the EP Hamartia.
Yep.
4-track EP. All songs are killer. There's 3 originals, and then they do a cover of Vengeance, the Pact from Blue Oyster Cult. And awesome. Can't wait for the new album. What I've
That's
heard.
what I was missing too. I grabbed the vinyl of that recently too.
Of which Hamartia?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Love it. Love that band, man. And in 3 weeks, about 3 weeks, I'll be seeing them twice opening for Opeth. Once in Brooklyn and the day after, not the day after, but the Friday I'll be seeing them in Brooklyn. And then Sunday I'll be seeing them in Washington, D.C. And the one in D.C. I'm in the 7th row, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But yeah, I can't wait to.
I wonder if they still have any of their really old material on their set list, or if they're just gonna play like the new album stuff.
Who?
Tribulation.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine they'll do some. They tend to always throw 1 or 2 older tracks in. Yeah, you mean from the first 2 albums?
The first 2 albums, yeah. I mean, I know that it's quite different from their.
Yeah, very, very, but great. It's still, you can see where the band was a cut above a lot of other bands like that.
Yeah,
they were. Their songwriting is really steeped in death, doom, and goth, and they just mix it all so well.
Yeah, they even got the black metal kind of
a little bit. Yep. His rasp is pretty black metal-y, and yeah, it's fucking great band, and that's a great EP. And then last CD, regular CD, is finally got this on CD from Svart, and you're gonna see this again in a minute. Classic.
Yep.
And this is what I'll probably be listening to when I slit my wrist soon. Why not? But yeah, fucking.
It is pretty depressing, man. Like you went the depressing route with that. Paradise Lost.
Yeah. I got all kind of happy music here to get into, right? Hang on one sec. Falling off my fucking seat. Hang on, I'm gonna go black for a minute here. Sorry. Ouch! I was falling down my ass cheek is fucking numb. All right, here we go. Now I'm sitting upright. All right. So yeah, that's all the CDs and the box sets that I've got. So that's 6 box sets and I don't know, 15 CDs there, something like that. And the sad part of that is that's not the vinyl yet. So I've got a lot of vinyl, probably 15. So do you want me to? Yeah, to counter the Joni Mitchell, exactly. Yeah, you want me to throw a couple things out, or do you have quite a few vinyl too?
I got some vinyl, man. But if you want to pull a thing or two, I'll
all right.
I've got a couple ready.
All right, I'll go through 3 here, and these are all very recent arrivals in the last week.
I'll pull 3 if you're pulling 3.
There we go. Yeah. Well. Okay, so along with the CD, I also grabbed the vinyl, the limited. I think it's called Purple Marble or something like that. So I grabbed the Svart reissue of it. It comes with this big, thick. See if I can get here.
Is that the? I got one of those represses. 2020, whenever that big last one was.
This one's, I don't know. I think it was just done. I think it was just this May. They did
Okay,
this
they took
repress.
another run. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like a 500 run or something like that with a special, like zine type insert. And then the color is really cool. It's kind of a mauve, magenta, burgundy
Oh, cool.
smoke. You can't, oh, there you can. Black smoke in it. Galaxy smoke or whatever you call it. So
I went with the black just because at the time I think they only had the black. It was black and clear.
this
That,
yeah, this was just repressed
okay.
in May because it was supposed to be out May 17th and I ordered it in March and then it never came and never came and never came. And there's an insert in here too, by the way. It never came, and finally it got to be like the end of June or early July, and I'm like, is this thing ever showing up? And they didn't even respond. They just sent my money back. So it was like,
I hate when they do that, man.
yeah, it's like, fuck you. No explanation. No, hey, sorry, whatever, something.
I've had that happen with Discogs. Like I'll order something and the dude, like, I don't know if they can't find it or listed it, forgot to delist it or whatever, and like,
Right.
I won't get any communication, but I'll have my money back. Like, okay, I'm glad I got the refund, but a little heads up would have been appreciated.
All right, I'll show two more. So I finally got the last Atheist on vinyl. I got these reissues, all the other three in the last 2 months or so. Nuclear Blast did a 1,500 run of these. They're really nice. The others are not gatefold, I don't think, but this one is. Jupiter, this was their last official album.
That's like their heaviest one. You can tell.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. My only problem with it, it's my least favorite, and the reason is I'm not a big Jason Sukoff fan. I don't like his production. It's just too digital, modern sounding, and yeah, 1,500 of these, and this is a fucking super gorgeous variant. Really, really cool, man. So now I have all those, and I always hit Kelly up and go, "All right, man, I bought the album," even because he loves this album, and I'm not as in love with it. It's my least favorite, and he gets a little bristly when I say that, But love you, Kel. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's been years since I spun that one, man. I don't remember it all too much.
You're right, though. It's probably like their heaviest. All right, last one that I'll show is, what the hell is this? Oh, this is that Treldom, the new Treldom, which is Doll Man. Yeah, I listened to it on, that's why I said when I went in this crazy buying spree was because I had COVID and I was laying around and had nothing to do but watch YouTube and fucking be miserable and placate my misery by going on Amazon or a distro and buying something, right? But this one caught me when I checked out the sound sample and I saw Gall was involved. I was like, all right, because I've heard some Gall's word that I kind of liked a little bit, and but I'd never heard this album or this band. And when I listen to it, man, it's more like Sisters of Mercy, man. It's or Fields of Nephilim kind of.
Apparently, their previous material was not like that. One's like quite a departure from their.
Yeah, well, I love it. I really like it. So, really cool colored variant on this one too. Yeah, so that's one, and a really, really nice album. Now I'm not going to pull out because it's got like a big insert in there and everything like that. But this is one that's directly the purchase of this album, 100% IG flipping. Just going through IG and letting it throw up all the kind of things that it wants you to see.
That's dangerous, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem, right? Um, you just get that temptation, and you're like, oh man, I got to get that one right there. I got to get that more expensive variant because it's more limited, you know. So, but anyways, Treldom.
It's kind of like you want to flip through it after already doing like a big buy, so you're not so tempted. You're like, well, okay, I already blew my budget for this month. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like filling up on dinner before you go, shopping, and
yeah.
you don't overbuy.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the name of this album. Like, By the Shadows. By the Shadows is what
I'm
it's
glad
called.
Gall's trying like all kinds of different things, and
I really liked it, man. It reminded me also of like Berlin era, like Sisters of Mercy, Berlin era Bowie. Like the Heroes,
oh, okay.
Low, that era of it just has that vibe, man, with some gothy goodness in there. I was really suitably impressed, man. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. And
Some people may be disappointed. He's not going back to that Gorgoroth sound.
no, it's not that. No. So yeah, that one's pretty cool. I don't know, Nick. Are you guys doing that Treldom?
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Are you guys gonna review that new Treldom called By the Shadows? That's what I was just talking about. So, all right, go ahead, Rick.
Cool. Here, let me. You did Paradise Lost. This is doom metal, but it's just more epic doom metal, not death doom, and this is more of a grower because it's not. If you're expecting Candlemass or something very riffy and super solo-y, it's not really meant to be that. So this is a Scald out of Russia. So this is it's literally called Ancient Doom Metal. And so if you guys know the story, so what's his name? Guile, the guy who passed away, who was the original vocalist. Dude, like that Will of Gods album, it's one of my favorite doom metal albums, man. It's such a great album. But they just did that one full length, and the band kind of called it quits, after that. So they took a long hiatus, and so they came back, and they got Felipe. He's from that band Capilla Ardiente, so from Chile. So they got a guy from Chile to come to Russia to do this. This is very like super ass epic, man. Like this is, you listen to this, you can tell it has like, you feel like you're really in the sea and you're in the storm.
Where are they from?
Russia. St. Petersburg, actually. I believe.
Wow. When that come out?
This year.
Wow, no shit.
This is their big return.
That sounds very interesting to me.
It's again, it's not supposed to be this, again, a big over super riffy thing. You really got to take your time with this. Let it cultivate and simmer in. But got a lot of cool artwork that I thought
it looked like it.
We got all this.
That looks pretty wicked.
With the lyrics and
what label that come out on?
Oh, who put this out? High Roller. There you go.
And High Roller's got a lot of good stuff coming out, man.
And it's got it. They made it all. I'm not the biggest fan of glossy, whatever, but I don't know. I don't mind.
That looks good, man.
Yeah, I don't mind it so much.
I might want to. You might want to send me a link to that.
Yeah, definitely. Man. I'll check. I'll send it over. Again, it's very, very, very glorious and very epic kind of stuff. It came in this nice, I guess, blue-green. I think they're just trying to kind of simulate a bit of the sea.
Yeah.
It feels very much like you're in the sea, like you're lost.
Seafoam green, yeah.
But again, will it surpass Will of Gods? I don't think so. I don't think anything really will. Like that album that it dropped in '97. Now it's like, again, but if you're looking to explore this vein of doom, that's a classic. But I think with this one, this is just a band trying to find a footing again. And then they're trying this vocalist, and I like Felipe's style. It may not be for everybody, but I like Capilla Ardiente, so it was like a nice transition to something like this. But yeah, it's called Ancient Doom Metal.
Yeah, I want to check that one out.
I feel like there's more of a lore to this. I just need to really sit down and explore, and this is when I really need to get into the lyrics and really dive more into. Also, something a little more instantly digestible. So, and this one might be on my list of the year. So the latest Sabir, or Sabir, however you say it. Well, I say the latest, but this is really like their only full length. So that EP, what is it? Gates of Ajar. Was fucking ruled, man. And
I don't know them. I know they're playing Hell's Heroes 25.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really know them. And the weird thing is, I got sent a shit ton of promo of them, and I never had a chance to check it out. Then I figured it out. Yeah.
Just black, but
what are they? Is it power doom, power metal? What?
You fucking love it, man. No, it's it's kind of like
gothic.
No, it's very 80s, man. Like if you loved what was that band last year? The fucking Dokken sounding band, the Summerlands. It had that very 80s kind of sound and production.
Yeah.
Like if you like stuff in that vein, you might dig this.
Okay.
But this is more in that kind of that Lizzie Borden Wasp,
that's awesome.
Motley Crue.
Is it a female singer though?
No, male singer.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's got the sleaze, it's got all that shit in there. Like,
oh, I love that, dude.
You would totally dig it. That's why I say, man, if you like that, if you're itching for something like that, like I said, this gonna be up there for the year for me. I
should have fucking checked that. Sometimes I get so many emails with like promo things, and I just if the artwork and the band name and the title are, you know what I mean, like I've never heard of this band. Yeah. I generally am going to look at the artwork, we'll look at the song titles, and I'm going to go, all right, yeah, get out of here. And you know what I mean? It just the artwork, the name of the band, the album title, that all drags you in.
Man.
Yeah, I love it.
But
I don't know why I didn't check that one out, man. Because
check out their first EP if you haven't. Like it's a really strong EP. I think the problem with that EP is it was so strong that this might be something that built up a lot of expectations for the band. The only weak thing I would say about this album is it is over an hour long. Like it's a long album, man. For this particular style of music, like I think they could have maybe did a little trimming here and there. I still love it for what it is. But again, you got the sleaze and a little bit of that glammy kind of element stuff. Again, if you like Wasp, you can hear a lot of that kind of what do you call it? that influence in there. But it still has quite a bit of heavy metal too. Really cool soloing and all that stuff. So yeah, highly recommended. All right, I'll do one more for this round. So this is a band that had a long hiatus, and I'm glad they're back, man. This is that death metal out of the school of if you like it, Pentago and Autopsy and that kind of shit, like that really horror, gross kind of, with a little bit of stuff in that vein. The latest Mausoleum, Defiling Blade. So cool shit. Like, so the last one, who the hell put it? I think the last it was 2011 was the last album, and like Razorback put that one out. But Razorback's not really doing much these days. So so they went to Moribund for this one, and so I think this one's 500 something like that. I forget what the count was. Oh, this is the clear puke green. So 250 for this one. I know there's a variant.
Nice.
I'll pull it out. It's pretty cool. Again, if you like Necrophagia.
Where are they from?
Pennsylvania. They're from the U.S. It's death metal. It's definitely like a war cemetery.
That sounds good too. I might have to check them out.
It's good shit, man. I love the last one again, but it's been a while. So I was wondering what the hell was going on with this band, but they're still active. But yeah, it
So
was.
how'd you even find out about that?
I ordered it. It was. I knew it was coming out. I was definitely anticipating.
Oh, okay. So you were alerted that they were finally putting an album out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, really good shit. I think
You say it's in the autopsy vein.
it's a autopsy. It can. They're not as doomy as something like Incantation, but it's got a little bit of that stuff in there because of the horror elements.
Yeah.
So again, it's spooky and kooky kind of stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Long ass fucking hype sticker, man. I think it's got members of Morpheus Descends too.
Okay.
People who played in that band. I don't know if they're still
New York band then probably.
New York. I think PA. I think there's like the split between different places.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Cool.
good shit.
All right. So I found out about this, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. And I was eyeballing it. And I was like, do I really need to? Because I had this when it originally came out on CD in 1996. And, I was super fucking excited for this when the news broke that this was going to come out. And I don't know where we didn't have the internet back there. So it was probably in a magazine article or something with him. And I got it and I was really unimpressed with it back then. Got rid of the original. And here, I don't know, maybe 5 months ago, something like that, I chased down a CD copy again. And I probably paid more than I should have, but I got it for like $15 or something like that, this album. And I threw it in many times since then. And I was like, man, this album's actually really fucking good. Critically, it didn't do that well, but I dig it a lot. And when I saw that they were reissuing, or I think this is the first issue of it. I could be wrong about that. I know it's a reissue, but I think it might be the first issue of it. Nate can fact check me on this. And what I'm talking about is this. Alex Lifeson's Victor, his one lone solo album where he has several different guest vocalists on it. He does a spoken word sort of thing. It's a really cool album, man. Very varied, super trippy. This issue of it here, maybe was an original issue on vinyl. I just don't know off the top of my head. They reimagined the artwork for it and gatefold the lyrics and all the credits and stuff. And I saw it on Amazon again, COVID shopping. I'm like, fuck it, I'm buying that. And I know it was
did a lot of that.
I don't think it's like a huge issue. I think there's only like 5,000 of them. So nice printed sleeves. And this is a completely crystal clear. There was one other color, but that one sold out. It was like a turquoise blue. And by the time I decided to pull the trigger on this, I'm like, all right. And I think this was only 35, which kind of shocked me. I was expecting it to be quite a bit more. And then the other added bonus of the reissue, if it wasn't issued one time. Yeah, Tim, Edwin, yeah. He does sing on 2 tracks, I think. They're also, when Alex signed a deal with Epiphone to do a line of signature guitars, he recorded some stuff over the pandemic that he gave them to use exclusively at the time for marketing. All those tracks, there's 3 of them, I think, or maybe 4, are on the side D of this album. I believe it's a 45 speed, I believe. Could be wrong, but so Alex Lifeson Victor, really grew to really dig that album a lot. So very different from Rush, but in a way not so much. So, and then I ran into a killer deal on this. Marillion's An Hour Before Dark. An Hour Before It's Dark. Double album. Gatefold. Got this for $20, man, which was mind blowing to me. And printed sleeves, and they are like a tangerine-ish.
You kind of triggered me with that, little man. I remember years ago, when I was in art school, they made me buy like professional supplies. So I picked up a colored pencil set in a little box. It was like $50, and I was like, it's one of those deals when I was like, I didn't have any money, so it's like $50 to spend on a fucking colored pencil set.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of ramen noodles that month.
I bet.
Look just like that box.
All right, and then this album I have to blame John Halm for, because he reminded me that this was out. I remember when it came out, I didn't check it out immediately, and then I never got back to it. John brought it up that he had just bought it, and he's like, you gotta check this out if you don't know it. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I went and listened to it on Bandcamp last week, and I'm like, okay, it's over. And that is the new Molchat Doma. Molchat Doma or Domo. Do you know these guys?
No.
Think they're from Sofia or man, I forget. Can't fucking remember where they're from. Somewhere in the Baltics, I believe, or in the near Russia. I just don't remember where.
Okay.
Huh?
That part of the world.
Yeah, that part of the world. I can look it up. When nice printed inner sleeve, just black vinyl. Got this for $20, I think, crazily, and it comes with a big fold-out poster of the guys. It's like, oh, look at that! I could hang that on the wall. That wouldn't be homoerotic in any way, shape, or form, would it? All right, and then I finally decided to take the plunge on this band because Jimmy's been ragging me to do it, and I fell in deep. You'll understand, I believe, because I think you really like this band a lot, or this artist, rather, whatever. And that would be one of three or four. 3 or 4, I can't remember. 3 for sure, but I think maybe 4 albums by this artist I've chased down over the last week. It would be Ruins of Beverast.
Cool.
This wasn't cheap. About $25 per album, so about $50. Which hunting around, it didn't seem like a bad deal. It's used, but it's in mint shape. Packaging, this is Van, right? And they just do everything over.
A lot of times, used doesn't mean it was like played. It just because packaging reasons or just whatever.
But this stuff is legendary already, man. I gotta have everything, and now because I bought 3 vinyls, I have to have it all on vinyl now. There's no way I can, you know what I mean? So that means.
Yeah,
I'll buy it on vinyl, and then I'll buy it on CD when I can chase it down. But even the CDs are like $25, $26. So really cool cobalt blue.
CDs are getting stupid, man. Now when I go to the record store, it's like they're averaging $15 a pop. $15 man. That was the high end price. Now that's like the starting.
Yep. It's all fucked up. So you will see more Ruins of Beverast in the next update because there's 2 on the way. One from England and one from hurricane ravaged Florida. The guy just let me know. He said I didn't get it out until after the hurricane, so probably going to be a slow arrival. So, your turn.
Cool. Okay. Another one might be in my year list.
Nice.
Is it dropped earlier in the year, and but I'm finally getting around to picking it up. the vinyl for this is not cheap, man. Looking around, I'm like you were just showing with the ruins. It's like apparently,
Yeah.
this for like under 40 is I don't know why. Listenable put this out, so you'd think it'd be like
Pretty. Yeah.
But yeah, the latest Pentagram Chili.
Oh.
This is Eternal Life of Madness, and I don't know if you've ever checked them out.
Pentagram with Bobby Liebling?
No, not that Pentagram. This Pentagram Chili.
Oh, Chili. I'm sorry. I missed that. No.
I think it's
not.
Chili to it, just because.
I'm sorry. Yeah, when you said Chili, it didn't register. I thought that was the name of the album, Chili. What? Okay, so what's that like?
You might dig it, man. It's
probably would.
It's thrash. It's heavy dark thrash. It kind of tinges on. It teases death metal. It kind of falls in like, if I were to compare it, it's kind of like elements of Possessed, with it's maybe some Slayer.
Okay, so thrashy death metal.
I even hear some like kind of late 80s Sepultura. If you like that sort of Beneath the Remains era. So it has all those like influences kind of in that soup. They're not like the fastest or in there trying to be the most blasty or whatever. Like what I really appreciate about this is that these guys really took their time to craft some fucking quality riffs, man. Like every riff here, it's been thought about, arranged in such a way that it's a very meticulous kind of album. And these guys just perform it very well. The production on it's really good. I mean, for this particular category, it's definitely one among my favorites of the year. It's just again, I'll forward it to you, but
yeah
good shit, man. It's just really done well, thrash metal, and it just
hit me with a link on that one. And Scald, was it? Is that what it was called?
Scald, yeah, that's the
I want to definitely check those two out.
And the Sabir, yeah.
Sabir, yeah.
The Portal's I'll probably send you a link to that song. I love that song, man. Like, I mean, the whole thing is good, but yeah, good shit.
Who's that out through?
Who put it out? Listenable.
Yeah, hang on one sec.
Yeah, it kind of came in this, which I think is appropriate. It kind of came in that smoky marble. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but it's a cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
So
again, who was it again?
Pentagram Chili.
No, who did he come out on? I'm sorry.
Oh, Listenable.
Listenable. Okay. I'm interested in that one for sure.
Good shit, man. Like I said, it's probably be on my ear somewhere on that list. Not quite sure where.
How many do you think you got?
I got 3 more vinyl.
All right, let me go a couple, and then we'll come back to you then.
Okay.
I'll burn some out quick because I still have. Actually, we're gonna end on a box set I forgot about. It's the last thing in the line.
I actually have a box. Maybe I'll end on that too. It's not a set, but it's a box.
It's just a box. All right. So the last thing I needed, but I'm not sure that I needed because I didn't go pull my. I got to go pull boxes to find all my Anathema stuff for tomorrow night. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, and I know there was a comp of Pentecost 3 and Crestfallen that had both of them on one CD. Kind of like Peaceville did that. They also did that with the 3 EPs from My Dying Bride. I think they call it Trinity or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know that I have this. It might be on that comp, although the Pentecost 3 might just be the Pentecost 3 by itself. I just can't remember in my mind's eye, so I have to find it. So I might have this now twice, but I decided to jump on it. I like the price on it. I really love this EP. I love this EP. It's really killer. This is a Peaceville reissue, I believe. Is it 19? 14. Yeah, 14. So, yeah, this thing's been around for a while. And I think it's black, I think. Yeah. And you know what's wild about this thing, man? This might be the thickest record I've ever seen. There's literally no flex to it at all. It does not feel like it feels like 220 gram or something, man. It's really weird.
They're out there, man, but I don't see them that often. But it's like anything above 180. 180 like, is it for a lot of people. Like that's the
Yeah,
it's
but that's way heavier than.
It's already a lot of plastic like that.
Yeah. I'm telling you that this thing's way thicker than any 180 LPs that I've had, and I'm telling you, it even feels thicker than I have one or two 220s, and it feels thicker than that. So, anyway, this is weird. That one's tripping me out a little bit. All right, hold on.
Yeah, and for an EP too, right? Which is like,
all right. We alluded to this a little bit earlier, but yes.
There you go.
All right. The problem is this one has to go back. When I opened it, the corner was all. When I opened the box that it was in, it was floating around, flopping in the box, and it wasn't in a. Most of the Amazon stuff I get delivered.
Yeah, I've gotten some shitty package stuff with them.
If it's vinyl, most of the stuff, if it's vinyl, they have an album mailer inside a bigger box, and then a little bit of, paper or whatever to keep it from impacting. This was not in a album mailer; it was flopping in the box. And could I live with that? Yeah, I could. This was $28.99.
That would bug me, man.
But yeah, so this is High Roller 2, I believe,
and it's Amazon, so returns are pretty easy with them.
Yeah, I have no problem with it, and this is a limited edition of 500, I think, yellow, bright yellow. So yeah, I decided I'm going to grab this and the EPs, and then the Heroes on vinyl probably, and just if I run into, because the CDs are almost as much as the vinyls. That's what's weird. Like, I don't know what's up with that. That's strange.
I was exploring that stuff for a while. Like, okay, because I do like their stuff, but I'm like, man, the prices they were asking for the material. But I'm glad a lot of that stuff's getting reissued finally.
All right, I think I showed this a while back, but if I didn't, I finally got this. My order got lost in the mail, but I think I might have already showed this a while back. Stone Cold classic, man. Ghoulish death metal, incredible album, EP, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Any thoughts on this one?
That's great, man. I got that over the summer.
It came out in July, I think, and my order got fucked around, and I only got it. Either I didn't see it. I always go back and look at my last episode and just quick fast forward to see what I bring up and show, just to see what I need to add in from the last time. And I didn't see that in there, so I think it must come like after my last collector update, which was August 16th. So maybe I did show up, but anyways, Depravity.
Yeah, I was pretty psyched when they announced that they were reissuing that. I have a CD of the thing is the CD I got. I'm not 100% if it's a boot or not. It's one of those like so I don't know, but
it came from Brazil. It's probably a boot. Yeah.
Well, I got it from the record store, but it's just like, it was like not expensive. So I'm like, okay, but then like as I look into it, it's a little odd and a little blurry here and there. I'm like, is this a boot? Like, it's just. So I'm not 100% yet.
All right. Emma Ruth Rundle, Marked for Death. My God, man. This album is just intense. So intense, so beautiful, so emotionally intense. She's one of my new favorites, man. And I grabbed an OG. I think it's on like a smoky. I don't know. I can't remember if. Maybe it isn't. Maybe. Oh yeah, there it is. Kind of a smoke like the one you had, but a little darker.
Oh yeah, smoke.
You can see the marbling. Don't know what I don't know, 250 maybe or something of this. Got a killer deal on it, and I was like, yeah, I'm grabbing that. So hers might be a catalog that I mix. Maybe I'll have some on CD, some on vinyl. It's just not one that I think I'm gonna always have to have that particular.
It's kind of what I
thing.
do with Marissa. I got a couple of CD and a couple of vinyl. It's like I'm fine, you know.
All right, I haven't bought many soundtracks, but this is one I couldn't wait for. One of my all-time favorite movies, Vincent Price, of course, The Last Man on Earth, from Waxworks. Really cool splatter, yellow, white, clear, lime green. So yeah, gatefold on that too. Waxworks just does amazing shit, and
Yeah, they really do, man. It's
they,
so tempting. Even some soundtracks I never ever would have considered ever buying. I'm like, I'm good with it. And then they pull shit like that, and I'm like,
you see the artwork, and you go, really?
a lot of it, like, you know, it's a nostalgia trip, and those are movies like, you know, that you really connect with, right? Like, again, that's part, like you said, one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And it's Vincent Price. I mean, like, that guy. I mean, I don't know if they'll ever put out like a box set with just the Vincent Price material. Waxworks would probably make a killing with that.
Oh yeah,
they can get the licensing for a lot of it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it.
I think they use Rob's name to kind of be the curator. So he comes in and says, "Let's get the soundtrack for this movie and get the packaging going." So he's kind of like the art director for this series, and there's a bunch of them. I have like Spider Baby, what's the one? Carnival of Souls. So there's a lot of cool, because I'm a big horror movie guy, so I own a lot of those movies originally. So I'm used to the soundtracks to the movies. So, but yeah, I mean, it, like Rob, usually then they have a printed insert of somebody that's still alive that's associated with these movies if they're from the 50s and 60s or 70s or whatever. And then that's about it. But I mean, it's not like Rob Zombie's not interpreting with his band The Last Man on their soundtrack.
Yeah,
this is the original soundtrack that I don't think has ever been on vinyl. I think this is its first pressing on vinyl, which is a cool reason to go grab one, because that'll be probably worth something one day. But yeah, and if you don't know this movie, you should see it.
I don't know if they had like retail in mind for that stuff at the time when it was just, again, it was a movie soundtrack. It wasn't
right. But there's some of my favorites. But what the movie is essentially the I Am Legend movie, where the guy's the last guy on the earth.
I've heard that comparison before.
Yeah, well, it's the same story. Book of Eli was the other same story that I think Denzel Washington or somebody was in, but yeah, it's a fucking great story. It's The Last Man on Earth, Wade, with Vincent Price, 1960 or 64, I forget which. I think it's 60 or 62. I don't know, somewhere in between 60 and 64. But that's the only time it's ever been on vinyl, which is super cool to have. And I have Brian to blame for all this. This is all Brian Arkham's fault. Brian, fuck you wherever you're at, man. I fucking can't stand you, you bastard, you. Nah, just kidding.
With all the soundtracks he's been buying, again, none of us are going to retire.
Yeah, Brian kind of coaxed me into it. I don't know if I started him, though, with the Sorcerer's soundtrack from Tangerine Dream. I think I might have helped get him going there. But he's got me into these movie soundtracks. And so now I bought, 40 of the albums I bought probably since November are, Suspiria and Tenebrae and all these, these cool, the ones I showed the last time, a lot of the Goblin stuff like that. Yeah, it's always your fault, you bastard. You fucking bastard, you. But yeah, thanks to Brian, he really turned me on to Waxworks, and Now I'm a fucking Waxworks whore. I'm a whore. There you go. All right, Rick. Go ahead. Give us one.
Before I continue, you've had that question up. Nate's asking about the quad cortex.
Oh, yeah.
You might
Nate,
want-
remind me at the end when we're about to wrap up. I'll give you a rundown on that. Okay. You
I'll
do
show-
one, then I'll do two, and then we'll be about done around the same time. So probably another 20 minutes.
Yeah, you did the Chelsea, Emma Ruth. Another one I think you might dig. It's you familiar with Zola Jesus?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've been digging her stuff, man. I just got into her pretty recently, and so this is one of her later ones. Was it
Okay.
Arcona? Not sure how you say it. It's kind of like it's got a little dark wave, little synth pop.
Okay.
It's got like a little electronic. It gets industrial at times. It's hard to really. This is like all the other artists. She's a little hard to kind of pigeonhole into one category. She does a little experimentation, a little bit of everything.
Right.
So she gets these session guys coming in. As a matter of fact, Matt Chamberlain did the drums for this.
Mm.
So this is like there was some good money put into this project. It has a very big, maybe too big. It's got a very big sound. But it's very like ethereal. If you like the Dead Can Dance stuff, it's just a more modern take.
Oh wow.
So
where's she from?
She's American.
Okay. What's the name again?
So she's Zola Jesus. That's not her real name. That's like her.
No, I know.
Whatever, but.
Yeah, you have to send me that one too.
It's I dig it, man. It's so Sacred Bones put this out. So if you know.
Oh, I love Sacred Bones. Yeah.
So
Marissa was on there for a long time.
Yeah, and again,
she might still be on there. I can't remember if she's on Profound Lore or Sacred Bones. I think it's Sacred Bones. I believe. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's another one. Let me see. It says here. Let me see. Randall Dunn from Sun.
Yep.
It's involved with this.
Randall Dunn does a ton of production too. So.
Yes, it's right here. Johan Johansson, Candyman soundtrack. Like.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out, man. I think you dig it. I'll send you.
Yeah, send me a link on that one too, man.
It's kind of a long one, but
you're turning me on to a lot of shit tonight. And Brian says he has a real knack for spending other people's money. Agreed.
He does, but I'm refraining because I do have a box from him today. So,
oh, you're sucking his dick.
Kind of what came back the other direction.
Yeah. Brian, he's sucking your dick. He's deep throating you right now. Wah, 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 wah. All right.
You want to go?
Thanks, Tim. I was thinking it was 64, but then I kept thinking, I think it's a little older than me, and I'm 66, so I thought it was more like 6 years older than me. But, all right, 64. Anyways, the bottom line on The Last Man on Earth from 64, go fucking watch it. It's awesome. I mean, Vincent Price, need I say anymore? The he's amazing. Everything he does is amazing. All right. All right, let's see. I'm getting down there. Yeah, I got 3 more? Three more in a box set. So I'll do what do you got? One more left?
I got one vinyl and one box vinyl.
Okay. Well, I'll do 2 and then we'll do one. All right. So last update, the one before this one, I had shown 2 of these reissues that I got, and I got the 3rd one. This is the Candlelight era of Opeth, and I believe I don't know if this is Candlelight that did these or someone did them for them, but these are the Abbey Road 45 half-speed masters, and I got them for great price on Amazon. All 3 of them.
I saw it at the store, but they were asking a little too much for that. So.
Well, they're double albums. The artwork's been sort of cleaned up. They all come with an Obi, and I wanted them. And I will say I've listened to My Arms, and I've listened to Morning Rise, and they sound fucking amazing. I mean, they sound incredible. So that Abbey Road 45, at least it's in, at least it's in my head that I think they sound amazing. So, maybe I'm bullshitting myself. I don't know, but they sound like they just sound amazing. That's, yeah, there you go.
Cool.
You're up.
Yep. This was more of an impulse buy, but I do like this band. It's not metal, but they do get heavy if they want to. This is the debut of the '88 L7 album.
Oh,
It's quite different from their other stuff, man. I know people will swear on Hungry for Stink and some of their other later albums, which again, this is a band that I also listened to during my high school years, so it's like a lot of attitude. It's like grunge, a little punky, rock. It's just a little bit of everything kind of enveloped in one. But this one right here is it's kind of sloppy, but in a good way. Again, it's got a lot of attitudes. Probably the most aggressive thing to put out. And if you guys haven't explored, if you've only listened to the later stuff, but obviously definitely check this one out. And it's the only one with what's his name? That dude named Roy Kutsky was on this. He was only on this album, and it was.
I don't know anything about them.
I
know they were a Seattle band in that grungy stuff, and all females, right?
I think they're Cali, but yeah, they got lumped in with all the with all those other bands.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's cool stuff, man. This one here, and the way they do the track listing and stuff, it's very strangely arranged. It doesn't. Again, it's the whole thing is just kind of seems like it was just kind of thrown together. But I think that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
With this, it's quite raw, and again, it's got a lot of attitude and punch.
Cool, man. Energy, yeah, attitude and energy.
Very much of that period. Yeah, Jennifer Finch, Anita Sparks. Yeah, you got the original crew here. But
yeah, I've never checked them out. I should probably do that.
88.
At some point. All right, and you got one more thing, right?
Yep.
All right, I got 2 vinyls in a box. All right, so I'll show 2, and then you show 1. And all right, so if you watched Rick and I do the recap on the Decibel Fest, or not the Decibel Fest, the the COVID clinic, I call it the COVID Petri dish, but Decibel's 20th back 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks now, probably, right?
Yeah, it was August 31st.
4 weeks. 4 weeks. We saw the autopsy, horrendous immolation, crypt sermon show. And at the show, I grabbed 3 shirts, 2 immolation shirts, and a what am I trying to say? Horrendous shirt. And I also grabbed a copy of the reissue from Dark Descent of Ecdysis, which I believe was 2014. I think. Or was it 2012?
2014, I think it was. Yeah, it was.
I can't remember. Somebody can help.
Something like that.
This is a cool band variant. It's kind of like a orange sherbet kind of galaxy thing. Rick was there. Did you get one of these, or you already had it?
I already have it. That's about.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then thanks to my buddy Rick, I was waffling on this because I didn't own it, and I had this band's catalog on CD, and then I had the latest album, their 3rd album. I have it doubly on vinyl, 2 different variants, limited variants. But I decided I want to have all their stuff on vinyl too, and so they had 5 copies of this at the show left. And Rick went. I was kind of waffling on whether I wanted to buy it, and Rick, of course, went and bought it for me.
It's not every day you trip over the steps and it happens to be.
Fell right into that black vinyl on this one, and these are getting really hard to find. And the second one is very hard to find. And
The person that sold to me was Paris, Tanner's wife.
oh, right.
Tape.
That's right.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you, Rick. I did pay Rick back.
Yeah.
And then all right, that's it. What you got last? I got one last thing, and you can.
All right. This is a cool little box, and this is a band that I don't feel like it's appreciated. It's US black metal. It's all in on black metal, and so why not? Look at this thing. It's
One Master.
It's One Master.
Never heard of them.
This is it's US black metal, and this is a band out of New England. I think they're I believe that's where they're based out of. It's a 3-person act, and the Names of Power. It's the name of the album. So they're about 4 or 5 albums in, a little more.
What's the name of the album?
The Names of Power.
Okay.
Really cool packaging. I kind of like this sort of it almost looks like hieroglyphics, right?
Yeah, pretty elaborate.
That's that thing. It's got a very occultish sound with the way they kind of do everything. I'm not completely sure why they decided to go with this packaging. I would have been fine with just a regular sleeve, and but they decided to do this. The booklet itself is kind of cool. So you have all that there.
Yeah.
And you got all the symbols. And
who did this elaborate set?
So it's actually he goes by Valder. He's the vocalist in this band. He actually owns the label. It's Eternal Death. If you ever check out their shop, they actually have some really good shit there. They're also like a distro, so they have other.
So, so they're like the dudes in Sadistic Intent.
Yeah,
they have
their bands, but they also run their own distro.
Yeah,
so Eternal Death. They just happen to be from New England. So and the prices are really reasonable. I just checked their stuff, and you got some. I might actually be making an order soon. They got some stuff I do want.
Okay.
But
send me the link to that thing too. That I want.
Yeah, they got some good stuff, man. They still have copies of this, and I gotta say they only made 100 of these. So I don't know how many are floating around there. Even the CDs are pretty limited. So I would say, this
short ones.
It kicks ass though, man. Like it's came out late last year. I like the track list. It's called the First Names, the Forbidden Names, the Secret Names is probably my favorite one.
Oh yeah.
It's got some it's got all this cool custom artwork. The Solitary Names. The Celestial Names.
Yeah, that's the underground right there, man. Still alive.
All this fucking shit, man. Like, it's got a little bit of everything. I mean, it does get blasty, but there's a lot of atmosphere. I guess it has a bit of that culture stuff, second wave.
Yeah,
kind of going in, enveloped in that sort of American, little bit of the Iscariot sound. So very simple labels.
What'd that run you?
Double LP, pretty close to 40, something like that.
That's not bad actually for where you're getting there.
Yeah, like I said, you get
2 albums. 2 albums.
You get a double. It's a double LP.
Double. Okay.
Yeah, you get the booklet and everything. I dig the packaging, but I didn't think it was very necessary.
Yeah,
that's what they wanted to do. I'm like, again, but I liked what I heard, and I do have 2 other albums, but nothing packaged like that.
Okay. So
this is I personally think this is probably their best material. So if you're going to explore them, I say start here. Start with the latest one. I think you might dig it.
All right. Okay. Last thing on the menu here, and then we'll take a few questions or whatever, and then we'll get out of here. I don't know how often this stuff has been reissued, but because I'm a whore for special deluxe editions, when this came out, I eyeballed it right away because I have the first one, which I'll say in the title of in a minute, or a second here. But I saw this one. I'm like, well, there's no way I'm paying what they want right out of the gate. I'll keep an eye on it. I think this came out in June, maybe July. And then I just hit it at the perfect time. And I snagged this for $48, which is crazy. But it is the full bore super deluxe edition of Fragile. And what that includes is 3 CDs and a Blu-ray. Let me look here. Is that right? Or is it 4? No, actually, I'm sorry. There's not a Blu-ray. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Sorry. There's 4 CDs and a Blu-ray. And then there is the, I believe, remastered vinyl. And then it comes with a really nice, poster. Really nice poster. That thing is huge. And the vinyl, I think the vinyl is just, it's hard to get out of here. That's the only problem. I think it's just regular black vinyl. But it's kind of cool. It's got the there. I'll read off the stuff that's on it.
When did that originally drop again? It was like 72 or something like that, right?
Yeah, 72. I think they're doing them in succession because I have the Yes album one, which I got for like $42. This one might have been like $44, and originally they were like 100. Right out of the gate, they were 100 because you get a vinyl, 180 gram with the original Electra, or not Electra, Atlantic, the original Atlantic centers there.
I noticed the CDs. They made it look like the labels. It's like it's a interesting detail.
Yeah, little detail. You're right, but you're right. That's really cool. There's, they have the old logos on the CDs, and the original liner notes here, and then here's the Blu-ray 5.1, which I have not even looked at that, and I'll read off real quick what that all has, for anybody that's interested. So you got the original album remastered. You've got the disc 2 is Steven Wilson 2024 remixes and instrumentals. CD3 is rarities, a bunch of like single edits and early takes and full versions and blah blah blah, and Steven Wilson remix and all that stuff. And then there's more rarities and live. And then on the Blu-ray you get a 2024 Atmos mix, a 5.1 mix with DTS HD, a stereo remix, a stereo remaster, and the instrumental mix, and then you get the LP for $42 all day, every day, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
There's no way I'm not taking that. And then the poster. Yeah, I said this poster is massive, man. It's like, oh, it's not a poster. What am I? I'm dreaming. That's the other thing I was thinking of. This is like a real thorough multi-page. I was thinking that was a poster. I don't know what the hell. Maybe I'm more stoned than I thought I was. But yeah, so that's that. That's the last of that. Now, I can honestly say on the way I have probably 6 or 7 more vinyls, and probably somewhere around 8 to 10 CDs. Yeah.
That you know of.
Huh?
That you know of. Because
that I know of. Yeah, it's like
that thing, man. It's like shit will come in. You're like, you're expecting a box so and so, and then you get home. You're like, when the hell this box come out? And there's some other shit you had on pre-order or something. And
you're like, wait a minute, what
you forgot all about.
Yeah, just fucking crazy. So, but yeah, it's and the thing is, I forget who I was talking to. I think Andrew, my buddy Andrew. We were talking about these types of reissues that have all the bells and whistles, the rarities and the early demos and the blah 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 blah, right? And he's like, "Are you ever going to listen to that stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, at least once. At least once I'll listen to it."
That's a reasonable question.
But it's a good question, and it made me think. Yeah, he's probably right in a lot of cases with this stuff. I try to be a full listener where if I'm going to pull a box set out, I generally will go through the whole box set, not just CD1 or whatever. If I'm going to go that route that week or that day that I'm traveling or whatever, I will do that. I will be like, all right, you're going to sit through the whole box set. You're not going to You're not cheating.
So you're gonna binge through it all at once. You know, I typically don't like, but then again, I don't.
Oh no, I don't either. Yeah, not with. It's not like watching a TV series that you get locked into, and next thing you know, you can't. No, I can walk away
Yeah,
from.
because albums will end on a cliffhanger. You know, you're like, I gotta fucking bite my nails trying to find out what's gonna happen next. You know,
Right,
will the main character get killed, even though you know they're gonna come back?
Yeah, I will say this: trying to get the vinyl in and out of this pocket for this box though is a mega pain.
I bought that Yes album like twice. It was used, right? The LP. And the first time, I think it was like the vinyl was in really bad shape, but the sleeve was in great shape. And the second time, it was the other way around. It was like the fucking sleeve was beat to shit, but the vinyl was.
You gave me a CD copy of that, which I did not own. That strangely, until you gave me that, I never owned that album, which is kind of wild when I think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you just think of like anything. I mean, just make a top list of progressive rock, right? That's probably there, right, in that list, like of essentials.
Yeah, you would think, but it is sometimes weird how I'll suddenly realize.
But it's not exactly hard to find either. So it's they press that many of it. Like
yes. Yeah, I know. Like just a foreshadowing of what's to come in part number 11 for me, which probably will be fairly quickly. Just to give you a little hint. I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. Like I ordered Gorophilia, Hyperdontia, Engulfed, all kind of shit from Matt from Dark Descent. I ordered Weather Systems, the new Danny Cavanaugh band that is basically Anathema Part 2. It's Weather Systems album Part 2. I like it a lot, and I wanted to support, but I wouldn't say it's not reinventing the wheel here. What else? I have an Over Perdition City vinyl coming in. But that's I have hang on, but I have on the same token, I have 3 George Benson albums coming in. One's an LP, the Double Live, Goodnight LA or something, One Night in LA, and then Breezin' and one Masquerade, or the one that has this Masquerade on it. Because I don't know why, man, but I fucking love me some George fucking. I love George Benson, man. Love his guitar playing. Love his smooth singing, man. I love that.
Wait, you're getting the regular LP, or is there some kind of set I wasn't aware of?
No. It's not a set. No, it's just actually that one I only paid like $9 for on eBay. I just grabbed that. Oh, and then another one that and I was alive during this period, and I knew about these albums, but I never really paid much attention to them except for one song. And I don't know how, but Friday night, or maybe it was Thursday night, I went into a deep Peter Gabriel zone, and I listened to all the first 4 albums. I had never done that before. I'd listened to tracks, but I don't recall ever listening to anything else. So was so huge. Every single song was on the radio all the time, and my buddy had it and used to play it all the time. So that one I knew, but I really the only thing I really knew was like Shock the Monkey, and Salisbury Hill, and my favorite song, Games Without Frontiers. Yeah. And I ran out and I found a copy of Melt, where his face is melting, with Games Without, an OG copy, the good one to have. And I paid probably a little more than I probably should have.
I just picked up an LP, it was used, but it's the one with the scratching on the cover.
That's a great one. That's the first one.
Yeah, well, it's confusing because there's 2 albums with the same. It's just I think it's just self-titled. They were both released around the same.
Well, no, there's 4. The first 4 albums are all self-titled, but one is the car.
Those 2 released the same year. Confusing for people.
I think the one you're talking about is the debut, and then the second one is where he's in the car with the rain. He's looking through the windshield.
Yeah, I think that one came out first.
And then the third one, well, maybe you're right. Yeah, the third one is Melt.
Yeah,
with Games Out Frontier, and then the fourth one is Shock the Monkey, I guess, but it's part 4 with the weird fucking like looks like there's a space creature being squished on the front. It's really eerie looking, and that one's great. That album's fucking great. So now I'm on the hunt for original Peter Gabriel vinyl just because I'm fucking stupid, you know. I'm sick in the head, you know. But yeah,
we're metal oriented, but at the same time, you know, there's quite a bit of non-metal stuff that we do.
Oh yeah, man. No, I mean, you know, I make no apologies for the non-metal stuff that I love. I love all kinds of music, and you know, like it was really cool to kind of fall into that Peter Gabriel thing because I really was like, man, I got to get my Anathema listening in. And then I was getting sidetracked to do, you know, the Peter Gabriel thing, or there was some other. Oh, so this is one I wonder if you know, because I asked Serge. It would shock me if you didn't know this. The Eden House.
The Eden House.
Yeah, do you know them?
No, what was that?
Dude, it's like people from Susie and the Banshees, Catherine Wheel, This Mortal Coil, all the 4AD people, Cocteau Twins,
Okay.
and they've got 3 albums of the most insanely killer goth gaze, man. It's so good. The Eden House, 3 albums.
That sounds like something I would like.
They're all something like 20 plus when you go hunting on eBay or on Discogs. So, you know, for CD, by the way, that's not for vinyl. Vinyls are like 40 or 50 or 60. I don't know who they're on. They might be on 4AD. Anyway, it's called This Eden House. And I found out about it because I was reading all kind of weird stuff about Anathema that I'm not going to get into right now here. But and someone asked about Lee Douglas, you know, the sister of John Douglas, the drummer, and the female voice for the last several albums for them. And someone mentioned that she did a track on this, what turned out to be the second, I think from 17, the second Eden House album. They put one out recently. I want to say 19 or 20, maybe 21 somewhere. The third one, but man, you'll love that. I think you'll love that shit. So you should definitely check that out.
It sounds like it needs to be desperately reissued. Like that's been out of circulation, right? I think is what you were saying.
What's up, Levi? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up here in
I don't know if like people will sit through a George Benson, you know, collection update though. Like there's, you know, for the metal channels, I got some Billy Ocean. Who's gonna sit through there and watch my Billy Ocean collection?
I love Billy Ocean, man. Get out of here.
I do too, man.
Caribbean Queen is fucking awesome, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't foresee a George Benson deep dive coming up. I kind of cherry picked the high ranking stuff on Rate Your Music and was like, yeah, I'll probably be good with that. I highly doubt I'll want to fulfill that catalog. That's just not how it works for me. If I get enough of the cool stuff, I'm good. But yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about music. It's a double-edged sword. One, it's a never-ending quest.
Well, there's always new shit dropping, man, and there's
right.
like you just brought up the Eden, right? And it's just like I didn't know about that, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. You're always going to run into somebody that goes, "Hey, did you ever hear about?" And there's more music out there than ever before, but you're always going to run into that situation where it's like that band, Eden, started, I think, back in the early 2000s. So they've been around 20, 25 years, 3 albums. Maybe it's not that long. Maybe it was the 20 teens, early 20 teens. But, I mean, they've been around a while, man. And I never heard of them. And that was just, I think there's members of Mission UK in there. You know, a lot of prestigious gothy, you know, Sisters of Mercy. I know. I know there's a guy in Fields of Nephilim, the bass player, the guitar player. He's in there too. So when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, it's like a warm, fuzzy, snuggie when it's cold outside or something, that kind of thing. So that was a cool find that just happened, and I mean, there's another one. Have you ever heard the band Mystic Force out of Baltimore?
Sounds familiar, but
I don't know if they're power metal or U.S. power metal or what, but I saw Phil the day that I went down to the show this past Tuesday. He posted something in his Instagram, and I actually hit him up about that, and then he was telling me about that, and I said, yeah, I'm supposed to come see you tomorrow night, but I realized I can't make it because of whatchamacallit. I said, how's the ticket situation down there in Baltimore? He's like, don't worry about it. I'll just throw you on the list. I'm like, oh, okay. That's it. Permafrost. Kamos. Permafrost. I have that one. I don't think I have Tiemo. I don't think I have that one. Haven't kept up with him in a while. I was deep into dark ambient. I mean, Sephiroth, Yenpox, Atrium Carcery, City's Last Broadcast, Gustav Hildebrand, Kammerheit, all these dark ambient bands. I still have tons of that shit. That Lustmort, of course. Stephen Wilson's Bass Communion. Some of Andrew Lyle's weirdest drone work. Colin Potter. I can't remember. Jonathan Colclough, all those guys. So I have a metric fuck ton of dark ambient. I've wanted to do a dark ambient episode forever. I don't have any stars of the lid, but anyway, we're getting super sidetracked. But yeah, I mean, there's always this unending quest for more. And that's great. It's just not great for your wallet and your credit card. And I've been wildly out of control.
That's if you go physical. A lot of the physical collectors, kind of
right. Well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
if you're just a lover of music and you don't mind streaming and I guess in effect stealing, kind of, I get it because I do it sometimes too, or I stream until I buy. And there's always stuff I forget. Like I really wanted to get the new Nile, put a couple orders in, forgot to order the new Nile, so I have to do it again. But yeah, it's just all that kind of stuff.
Well, there's other ways to support the band too. I mean, we go to the shows.
We go to shows. We buy shirts. So I bought a shirt. I bought a Worm shirt Tuesday night. A really cool one. I gotta admit, it's pretty badass. I don't know if it's. Let's see if I can find it here. But did I need that shirt? Hell no. Hell no, I didn't need that shirt. I have so many fucking shirts, so many black concert shirts. You know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. How many I have? Let's see if I can find it here. But that's what we do to support the bands. But I will say that the cost of that shirt, the long sleeve, was pretty saucy, and it made me go, well, I think I'm only going to be able to support one band tonight. And here, is that it? Here. Because I wanted to get something from Gate Creeper because they have great artwork and really cool stuff, but I just didn't want to spend $80, to be honest with you. So this is the.
That's a pretty nice print.
That's the front. Back's really wicked. I kind of like it more than I like the front. Necromantic Doom, I think it says down there, or something like that. And then on the sleeves, really not sure what it is. What does this say? Something Night of the Demon. Necromantic I think this says Blood Demon. I think I can't tell, but yeah, that was $40, and I was like, man, I really honestly can't afford to spend $80 tonight on 2 shirts. I just can't. Or if I really wanted to get a Frozen Soul, I guess I would have bit the bullet. But like now with T-shirts being $35 and a long sleeve $40 or $45, it's like fuck, man. Like, yeah, the tickets are still fairly cheap for these shows, thankfully. You're generally talking between 25 and 45 at most, or 40, and that's a good.
If you stick with the underground bands too, like we're going out to go see big giant stadium bands all the time.
Right. Well, yeah, you can't do it, man. There's just no way. Like, I don't know what Metallica tickets are, and I read they're fairly reasonable, because unless you're down in the pit or you're down in the snake pit or whatever they call it. But the other seats are reasonable. But man, I looked at a couple major concerts over the summer. One I looked at was fuck, man. Oh, the Doobie Brothers. $225 for a seat way back. Journey, up near the stage, $1,000 for a ticket. 27, 30 rows back, $260 for a ticket. I'm like, fuck that, man. There is no way. I like ELO was coming or around here. He's saying, I don't think I looked that one up, but I thought, well, that's going to be, stupid, man. They'll be playing Wells Fargo, and what 5 years ago used to be maybe $100 ticket now is a $220 ticket.
These are bands that are like what you call out of their prime years. Like, but when the arena rock days are long over, like when it was really huge, and then the fact they're commanding these prices. I mean, they're a nostalgia act for a lot of people, even though they might still be putting out some material.
Who's that? Who?
Oh, just bands in general, like Journey, just
right, all those
bands of that period, like just, I don't know. I don't see myself paying $60 to go see Journey. It's just
no. Well, yeah. I mean, like, to be honest with you, had the tickets been $60, I'd have gladly gone at that price. I think almost anymore, like to see a giant stadium band under 100 is almost not being realistic. But the problem is that that's not what they're doing, dude. The vertical integration of Live Nation, Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
they're vertically aligned, so they're literally scratching each other's back. They're a not a monarchy.
Because $60, that's just an example number, right? But like, you're gonna be paying more than that by the time you're through, because of all the middleman shit.
They're a monopoly, is what they are, and so they skim cash at every fucking level, and they're thieves. They're fucking thieves. But who loves them? Their shareholders and the CEO, who was paid like $323 million in 2023 or 24. I can't remember. 23. Yeah, man, it's just fucking crazy. I mean,
but also, like some people I know, like not everybody is a big serial like show goer. So it's like, if you're gonna go see a nostalgia act, that might be the only show they see in 5 years or 10 years. They're just like, that's their band. They're gonna go. I'm gonna go. Or if it's a casino act or something, you're gonna go. You pay whatever it is, and so you can justify it, even though maybe stupidly expensive, But if you're gonna go to shows like regularly, you can't be paying $200 a drop for it.
No, unless you're stupid fucking wealthy, or you just have no impulse control over your credit card. But I mean, it's I've looked at some of these prices, and I'm like, yeah, no, just no way. I mean, you're not in your 20s or 30s anymore, and there's limitations. Like for example, Def Leppard puts on a really good show, but Joe cannot hit a lot of those high notes, and when he tries, which he does, he goes into that really weak falsetto that has no balls to it, and so he's trying to sing in the same key they wrote him in.
He needs a little help, Yeah. If you're gonna go see Dokken or somebody like, no.
Well, Don can't get anywhere close to what he used to. So, a lot of those guys, they keep trying. There's very few guys. I mean, I think Halford's kind of up and down. I saw some moments earlier in the tour he did not sound good. I've seen some moments later where he sounded pretty good. He's abnormal, and so is Glenn Hughes. Those are the two guys that can go high like that and still catch. I mean, Tate he's not what he once was. I mean, Jeff oh fuck, what's his name?
Jeff Tate?
No, not Jeff. Todd Latore. Jeff. Yeah, Todd Latore.
Oh.
You know, he's only in his 40s, so and he smokes, which is crazy. I can't believe that. But you don't hear Ray Alder singing ear-piercingly high anymore. Geddy Lee, it even happened to him, I mean, he would do the instead of the what do you say about his company is what you say about society. He would go, what, that's a mystery, catch the spit. He would go drop it way down and kind of in a funny way. But I mean, all that, very, very, very few guys. Like I said, Glenn Hughes, 74, I think. Or maybe he's a little older than that now. He's in stunning. Might be the best singer I ever saw live. It's mind blowing.
They're still around doing it, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It came
And Halford too. I mean, Halford, and I would also argue Bruce kinda, although I'm noticing some issues with Bruce. He's starting to go flat on some of those higher notes, but yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of these guys that could do. I mean, remember Warrell Dane, how crazy high he was, and then towards the end of his life, he wasn't singing like that as much. He was kind of brought the register down. So,
well, when your health starts to go too, that's a factor. Sometimes it's not just plain age. Sometimes if you have some other underlying conditions, we'll do it.
I know, Nate. Jimmy was there, and Devin was there at that show. I don't know what they paid. I'd have to ask Jimmy or something, but I don't remember.
Yeah, and if you're not near the venue, it's like now you got to pay for like a hotel.
Yeah,
gas tolls, like all that shit involved before you even get to the damn place. So
yeah, I would love to see Emperor, but I don't think I'd pay over $100 to see him because I just don't feel they're that band, to be commanding that kind of a price tag. But I mean, I'd think about it right around there. But if it was like $150 or something, I'd be like, no, thanks. It's not. I'm just not that interested at that price. And everything's a trade-off. You know what I mean?
Cirque du Soleil, that's a whole different animal, but that's
Getty. I mean, I saw Getty every tour up through. From trying to remember. Hang on. Yeah, every tour from Grace Under Pressure on. Every album. And the first time I saw him was Permanent Waves, but I missed Signals and Moving Pictures because I was moving from Texas up to Pennsylvania, and the venue was an hour and a half away instead of 25 minutes, so I couldn't. But my second overall show of ever was Rush 1980 for Permanent Waves. First show was Kiss, 79.
Kiss is another one, man. It's like when you hear these guys, they're nostalgic too. You'll see them. They're not what they used to be.
Right. Yeah, Paul Stanley, great. Paul Stanley's a great example of the voice thing, man, because he had that high piercing hard rock scream that was amazing, and then when it started to go, it just was like, and then it suddenly was better again, and then we find out he's been lip syncing the last bunch of years. So. But yeah, I every tour from 84's Grace Under Pressure onward, every album that they came out with, I saw them at least I saw them once for Grace, and then I think every album from that point forward, I saw them twice to 4 times on every tour. So for like Power Windows, oh god, the red album.
Signals.
No, the red album with the little balls on the front. God damn it! Are you serious? With Time Stand Still on it. Hold Your Fire. Hold Your Fire. Hold Your Fire. The Counterparts album. Test for Echo. Presto. What am I missing? Roll the Bones. Every one of those albums, I saw them twice, and then for Snakes and Arrows, I saw them 3 times. I saw them in between for the R30 twice, and the Moving Pictures, whatever it's called, Moving Time Zones, or whatever they called that tour for doing the whole album of Moving Pictures. I saw that twice. And then the Vapor Trails tour I saw 4 times because they came back from that long hiatus when Neil was out. So, like, just crazy that I mean...
No, when you were going to all these shows, were the ticket prices pretty much kept at kind of a level where...
yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't that drastic.
All right, so for example, if we go back to Counterparts, which came out in 93, 94... Am I right about that?
Yeah, I think it was 93.
Somewhere in that range. I saw them in Landover, Maryland, and in Philadelphia. And they I'm 99% sure the tickets were $22. $22. Now I don't know what a rate calculator would do to like what's inflation dollars for that now. Would it be $44? I don't know, maybe. But the most I remember paying for a Rush ticket, it was either one down in the Virginia for the R40. I think that was like 125, and this would have been like 2007. But I was in the Gold Circle thing, so I was in the first 10 rows. I think I was in row 8. So it was kind of like the premium seating, which now premium seating is $1,000. I mean, it's stupid. I was kind of shocked when I got 7th row for the Warner Theater in DC for Opeth, and it was only $140. Imagine that, $140. I mean, the last time I saw Rush, I paid $160. They were scalped, but I had an extra ticket that we sold for $125, so it offset for the 2 tickets. It was like $80. I took my oldest child, Tristan at the time, and we saw them for the final R40 tour, the final thing that they did as a band. And that was, 3 years later, Neil was dead, or somewhere in that range, 3 years. And that was an amazing tour where they actually started with the most current album and went backwards through time and they played a number of tracks they had never played. And then, I don't know, never, but they had played a couple of tracks that they hadn't played in 25, 30 years. Namely, Jacob's Ladder, which I don't think they had played for close to 40 years. Yeah, man.
As you're witnessing this, like it's probably like the last time they'll play those songs too. Like you never know. Like,
I didn't know. I don't think anyone knew because I think we knew that Neil was starting to allude to things that he probably was not going to do any big tours anymore, and that's when the streaming was starting to happen a lot, and revenues for like album sales and stuff were non-existent. So the only way for a band to make a lot of money is to go out on the road. And Rush is not a little operation. It's a pretty large corporation, 20 people or so. And so if they don't tour, those people don't work and don't, or
Well,
I mean, they probably do other things,
that's
but
the added pressure, right? Like,
yeah, they're added pressures because they're basically entrepreneurs who have a small business that 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 people might be relying on. So, with Neil kind of saying, I don't want to do this anymore. My body can't do it. My kid is very young. I lost my other kid. I lost the mother of my child, my life partner, and I'm done. I don't think anybody really thought that's what was going to happen. But hey, what's up, Eric? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I don't think that was the grand plan for that 40th tour in 15, I think it was. But now looking back at it, it wasn't hard to see that was the right way to go. I mean, Geddy was the only one that really wanted to keep rolling. Alex was very much on the fence and really didn't like the idea of, 200 days a year or 160 days a year being on tour. Geddy was the one that was kind of like, oh, he didn't want to quit. And he still doesn't, I don't think. But they will never do Rush. The only way I would ever see that Geddy and Alex would play as Rush would be as a tribute to Neil Peart with rotating drummers like Portnoy and Carey and Grohl and Ahmet Erdogan and all these different players that are out there that have Simon Taylor, is that his name? So that's the only way I would ever see them doing any kind of reunion. They'll never put out an album as Rush again. They're not going to get a drummer. They're multimillionaires. They don't have to ever work. Their back catalog continues to sell. Their T-shirts continue to sell. Their merchandising is pretty solid. So I don't think there's ever going to be
just the licensing, publishing rights, all that shit comes into play. It's like they're set.
Yeah, they're set forever. I know Alex is, he's got a new line of guitars and amps that are out, the Lurched amps, and he's got a signature Strat that's done by Godin Guitars that is a replica of his Sportscaster guitar that he played in the 80s. So Alex and Geddy are set forever and ever, and so are their kids, and so are their grandkids, and they're in good shape. But that said, obviously, like if they announced a residency of tribute to Neil, like a one-off, maybe 2 or 3 night thing or something like that, Neil Fest, I don't know. I'd go out for that. I'd say it's
perfectly fine, man. Like it wouldn't in any way kind of like disrespect the name or anything like that. There's a way you can do it craftily where it's tasteful and still be able to make some money, but at the same time, kind of keep the integrity of what Rush was.
Yeah, right. And there's no way, there's no way that Geddy and Alex are going to like rekindle Rush. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Again, they don't need the money. And I don't think they'd ever dishonor Neil that way. That would be a very dishonorable thing to do. It was different, like when Alice in Chains did it when Lane died. I mean, there were still 3 guys in that band that were part of that legacy that started it. Yeah, Lane was a massive, massive part of it. But Jerry wrote 90% of the music back then, maybe even more. Sean was the original guy. And, I mean, there's...
Well, without Jerry, there is no Alice in Chains. Like, the band's pretty much done. Like, there's... He's not replaceable.
No, and I mean, I think William's done a great job. I've seen him a couple times. I was lucky enough to see Alice in Chains with Lane on their very first tour on the East Coast. He was unfucking real, just unmind-bendingly unreal. But I think Williams stepped into a difficult situation and very much honored the spirit of Lane. And they put out 4 albums.
Yeah.
4, is it? Yeah, 4 really quality albums. All of them are great.
Way, Devil.
Devil.
The last one.
Rainier Fog.
Your Fog.
No, I thought there was one more. Oh, no, maybe it is. Is it only 3?
Actually, yeah, I think it is only those 3.
Damn, I thought there was another. I thought there was another one in there. Well, all of them are great. Every single one of them are really, really good. And, but I get why people go, oh, it's not really, you know. I get why people would say it's not really Alice in Chains, but it is. But in the case of Rush, you're talking 50 years of history and, you know, all-time great albums, and, you know, it's like I don't think you could just, you know, Neil was the sole lyricist pretty much. There was an occasional Getty lyric in there and one from Alex, I think. I just don't think. Sure, could Portnoy jump in there? Could Danny Carey jump in there and be the new drummer? I mean, there's a million guys you could throw in there. You just, you know, yeah, of course they could.
It's the same thing Pantero's going through, man. Like, you know, they're doing that tour, and, you know, he's talking about who beat the guy, right, to kind of fill in for, you know. So they got Charlie and you know, Zach to kind of fill in, but, you know, but we know it's not
the Pantera, yeah.
Pantera.
And I don't think, based on reading Getty's book, knowing kind of the character of Alex as a human being, they're just not going to do that. They're not going to dishonor that spot by saying, all right, anyone can replace you. William, I don't know if that's you, but pumping vinyl here. No John Rutsey, no Rush. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's. I would really struggle with that. I would really be like, man, I don't know, dude. It's like if Triumph tried to reform without Rick Emmett.
Oh yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do it without Rick Emmett? You just don't.
That's the problem with the personality is also part of the band. It's just too much of a. I think especially when the vocalist is also the guitarist, like you got multiple roles. I think that's why bands like Van Halen got away with, you know, you could rotate vocalists around, but the band was still very much Alex, you know.
Well, it was Alex and Eddie. Yeah, they were.
So
they were the bosses.
They had that kind of intact. People always usually associate the front person as the singer, and, you know, that's kind of the, you know, but there are exceptions like this, right? But now without Alex, so there is no more Van Halen, of course. You know.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, Van Halen for me is pretty much the Roth era stuff. I owned all the Hagar stuff. I saw them twice on the Hagar era. I did not see them with Dave. 84 was my one chance. I can't remember what went down. Somebody got tickets but then boned me or something. I can't remember what happened. But if I'm going to listen to Van Halen, I'm going to listen to the first 2 mainly, and then probably Fair Warning.
The Roth era stuff had more of an appeal for people who were into the heavier or faster metal stuff, even though Van Halen were not technically a metal band, but they had a lot of adjacent stuff. Enough of it going on. But like you said, once the Hagar stuff came in and they added more synth and everything else, they got too poppy for people.
Well, they got too radio friendly at that point. I mean, in a bad way. Because I heard, I'm old enough. I remember riding on my bike around my neighborhood, and one dude was a parasailer. He's probably close to 80 now, but he, if he's alive, he had his garage open, and I heard the, down, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like in my head, my brain is scrambled because I'm listening to Skinner and Aerosmith rocks, and that's the era of the stuff I'm listening to. Rush for the first time, and then I hear Eruption, and it's like nothing I've ever heard, like nothing anyone's ever heard. That was the moment, right? For shredders around the world, even though Eddie was never really like a real shredder, he was more nuanced player than that. Yeah, and then that rips right into "You Really Got Me," and then then you hear Ice Cream Man, you hear what was the other? Jamie's Crying.
Yeah.
What was the other big one? Running with the Devil. All those classic fucking songs, and they're so good, man. They're so
They were
good.
able to take, like You Really Got Me, right? As a cover song, right? But they still kind of made it their own in their own little way.
For sure. Yeah.
They had a signature to their sound. Last time we heard like that kind of guitar, kind of trickery and just acrobatics, Hendrix, right? Like at the time when people were wowed at that, those maneuvers. You had other guys kind of come in through here and there, but when Hendrix was around, you didn't have the kind of exposure and TV and MTV and all that stuff wasn't around then yet. When Van Halen came around, they came in like just at the perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember as a kid, when that stuff would come on, it's just like Hot for Teacher. It was one of my favorite videos for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Why, Rick?
None of my teachers look like that. What the fuck, man? It's disappointing.
I did, man. I had an 11th grade teacher that I can't tell that story. It's a little too. It's a little. I don't know if the statute.
Not trying to get anybody arrested, right?
I don't know if the statute of limitations is passed yet. Yeah, man. I mean, I make no. Even though my channel is metal centric most of the time, I make no bones about exploring other things, and particularly classic rock, because everything for me spawns from that. It spawns from Zeppelin and Yes and Jethro Tull and Rod Stewart and Peter Frampton, and those are the touchstones, as much as James Taylor and Carole King and Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, those are, and ABBA. I very clearly remember 1976 hearing ABBA while I was at the pool, Dancing Queen, and I'm like, whoa, or maybe, I don't know, it was 72. I can't remember what year that was. I thought it was 76. But, that ABBA is fucking one of my favorites of all time. I love that band.
Oh yeah, man, they thrived in that disco era, man.
And I'm not making any bones about that. So, all right, dude. I don't know if this is the William. Hang on. I don't know if this is the William dude that hangs out on Rachel shit and gets into it with Rob and gets into it with Chance. I mean, dude, do you really want to come over here and do that kind of shit? Like, to me, you really gonna, do that? Like, why? What the fuck? What's the point? I'm not your fucking enemy, dude. Don't make me that, okay? And, I know how you like to make a lot of different accounts and do weird shit. I'll just get rid of you. That's all. I'll get rid of anything I don't know. So would appreciate if you don't do that. Line 6. Yeah, that's a great point, dude. You ask about the quad. I'll get into that for a minute and get Rick out of here in a few secs here.
Eddie was a tinkerer too, though, man. He loved to just fucking just.
Oh yeah, I mean the Frankenstein guitar, man. Like different neck, different pickups, different hardware, different tuners, trem, whole nine yards. He was, very much that guy, huh?
As he lived for that, man. He loved it. He loved doing that stuff.
Now, the thing I believe what Nate is kind of referring to though is he's talking about the Rivera, right? Rivera, yeah, the Rivera. Is it Carlos Rivera? Fuck, I'm forgetting his name. Or Martinez. Damn it, I can't remember. Nate, you're gonna know. I can't remember the dude that modded those amps with the Variac and the they get that really killer brown sound that Eddie kind of created. Would he have had the same impact? And that's a very good question. Because, there were guys like Frank Marino that never broke out of and got huge. His biggest hit was a song that didn't have hardly any guitar on it, no guitar solo. Strange Dreams. It was more of a keyboard sort of song. And Frank Marino was in that class. Uli John Roth in that class. Gary Moore in that class. A lot of killer players in the 70s.
Yeah.
And Michael Schenker, yes, for sure. Michael Schenker, yeah. Can't read that. No. But Eddie, he was not the first tapper. The first tapper they've traced back to about 1954 was like an Italian dude. So, doing the tapping on the neck and playing it more like a piano. But what Eddie added was just that sound, that ferocious fucking overdriven Marshall growly brown sound that nobody had heard before him. And he was also doing the shit with the whammy bar that nobody was doing before him. Not to that histrionic a level. And then but then Yngwie comes hot on the heels, and then the Vais and the Satrianis, and it's just this thing. But I mean Hendrix was always the alpha and omega starts with Hendrix. And then it's Eddie and Yngwie and Dimebag, and there's those quintessential guitar players. Not to in any way, and I'm talking more for hard rock and metal. Those are the guys. You want to get into prog, you got Alex Lifeson, you've got Steve Howe, you've got Robert Fripp, stuff like that. So,
yeah, thing is, a lot of these guys. You had these bands who were like Van Halen. They made stuff that was made for radio. Really good for radio. And then you had guys like Marino. It's like these guys were creating amazing stuff, but a lot of it did not hit the airwaves in the same kind of way.
No, not even. Yeah, like, much more niche artists. I mean, Frank told me he never really made any money off of album sales at all. He never had his masters in the end. He got fucked.
Depending if you were doing that, some like Jeff Beck, right? And you had people like this who were experimenting with all that kinds of other things too. Were involved with a million other projects. But then you had other guys, right? Brian May is another one, right? He's he's stuck with Queen, right? I mean, he's done appearances here and there, but that was his main thing. And the kind of what he stuck with, but
he did a solo. I think he did one or two solo albums. But Queen has always been his thing, his baby, and he's put out a hell of a lot of amazing albums with Queen.
Made a lot of hits.
Yeah, I've never checked out, or I don't think they put any albums out. Maybe I'm wrong, but did they put any albums out with this Adam dude?
Not that I know of.
Not studio. They just did. It's always the touring thing, right? The live stuff. Yeah. And he's incredible. The Lambert guy's incredible.
He's good. I mean, he's not Freddie, but I mean, he's come close.
That's what I was saying about William Duvall. Same thing. He's not.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Okay. So no studio.
Yeah. He's not. William Duvall is not Lane. Lane is irreplaceable. It's just like, Cornell, irreplaceable, man. There's nobody that can beat Cornell. I mean, there's Richie Kotzen, who sounds a lot like him. There's Ian Thornley from Big Wreck sounds a lot like him, but they're not going to be Chris Cornell. And I know that I think that Soundgarden's been working on this final posthumous album for Chris. With they were in all kind of legal struggles with his widow and just a fucking mess. But I'm interested to hear what that was like, because I like King Animal. I liked it pretty decently overall. I thought it was
More
pretty
of a grower for me.
Huh?
It was more
Yeah,
of a grower.
it is a grower. I mean, it doesn't rank like in the top 3 or anything like that, but I liked it more than I thought I would. Because I didn't really love Down on the Upside. Yeah.
On the upside, yeah.
I mean, I like the one, I lost my soul today. What is that called?
They were experimenting with different tunings. There were some
Burden in My Hand.
times in that album they were trying to go for something a little. I think they were doing that on purpose. They wanted to break away from that
Sure.
commercial. I mean, it was Super Unknown. That was like a huge.
The thing about Super Unknown is, though, that album is really known essentially for Black Hole Sun and maybe a little bit for Fell on Black Days.
It seems like Black Hole Sun. I remember there was an interview sometime back. It was to Kim. It was talking about how that song was not meant to be a hit. It was like kind of a throwaway song. They were like, we just kind of do this thing together, and next thing you know, fucking MTV won't stop playing it.
Yep. But that album is so killer, man. I mean, it's got like the fucking nastiest shit. Oh, Spoon Man. Spoon Man. That's the other song, which is the only song on that album I fucking hate. It's my only Soundgarden song I fucking hate. But that album has Mailman. It's got Limo Wreck. It's got Day I Tried to Live, 4th of July, Fresh Tendrils. Fuck, what else is on there? Oh my god, dude. What I'm forgetting. Head Down. Isn't Head Down on there, or is that on later?
And I think that's on there.
Wait a minute. Head Down. I think, yeah. Sound. Super. There we go. All right. So sorry, hang on. Pull up the track listing.
Yeah, that's on Super Unknown.
All right. So yeah, Let Me Drown. My Wave, I think, was kind of a minor hit. But you had fucking Mailman. Super Unknown was kind of a hit. Head Down. That's one. Head Down. Head Down. I love that song. Limo Wreck. Day I Tried to Live. Fresh Tendrils, like I said. 4th of July, like you said. And then the last song, Like Suicide. How fucked up is that, man? How prophetic is that?
Yeah. Look in California, Philly, Minnesota. He was telling us way ahead of time, man.
Yeah, way ahead. Yeah. But that album, with the exception of Spoon Man, which I don't know what it is. I mean, I just don't know what it is. I just don't like that song. It drives me nuts.
I don't mind it, but I don't need to hear it again. I'm like, it's already implanted in my brain, burned in my memory. Like I'm good.
If I remember correctly, when we did the definitive album things, Logan chose Super Unknown and I chose Bad Motor Finger. Bad Motor Finger is a nastier album. Rusty Cage, Outshine, Jesus Christ, Pose, fucking Slaves and
aggressive. It was heavier.
Searching with My Good Eye Closed, Room 1,000 Miles Wide, New Damage. Oh my god, that album is fucking. It's just gnarlier and more harrowing. I mean, I love Super Unknown, but it's a little more polished, ever so slightly. Yeah. And but I still love that album. And so it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that camp soon. Let's hope. I mean, it seems like Chris committed suicide in 2015, so we're almost. Can you believe that, man? 10 years?
Actually, I think it was 17.
No, it was 15. Almost certain.
I think it was 17 because I went on a trip that year.
You're right. You're right. It was.
That's when I found out.
You're right. May of 17. Fuck. I don't know why I thought that was 15. I don't know why. Because I think that's around the time I moved in with my old man. So I don't remember. But yeah, I agree, Eric, for the most part. I do like a lot of Super Unknown, though. There's a lot of great tracks on there. But it's just that commercial sheen. And I'm not even one of those Black Hole Sun haters. I know there's people now that's like, oh my God, it's like Sweet Child of Mine or Hotel California or give me some. What else? What's a constant song you hear? Well, Journey, man. You know, I mean, yeah, Journey's constantly. You know, Who's Crying Now or something like that. You know, where there's just always a song that you hear and you're like, I don't want to hear that song ever again. You know, that kind of thing. You know, Sweet Child of Mine comes to mind. Stairway to Heaven, yeah.
It's those big commercial albums, man. It's albums that make people into rock stars.
For sure. Yeah, I love Louder in Love too a lot. I really like Ultra Mega OK too. There's a lot of killer stuff on there. But I gotta put Bad Motor Finger.
When Ultra Mega OK was remastered, it kind of went a little higher in my list.
You know? Firewoman, that's a good one. Firewoman from the Cult. That is a great one, man. And you're right, it is almost always at the grocery store. That's where I've run into it too a lot. Stairway to Heaven, yep. Yep, funny that this is or Last Trains to Clarksville or something like that, or you know, I already said Hotel California. Boys of Summer, Don Henley.
Oh God, yeah.
Just one of those tracks that you're like, oh fuck, man, are you serious, man? Or A Whole Lot of Love or something, you know, just those quintessential classic rock songs that
it's like Blue Oyster, right? It's always the same songs.
Always the Reaper, yeah, always the Reaper. Yep. Which don't get me wrong, I love all that shit, man. I mean, that's all class. That's part of my fucking DNA, man. I'll never, despite what Eric says, I don't care.
Sometimes I don't mind it though, man. Like if I'm at a laundromat or whatever, like More Than a Feeling comes on or whatever, like I'm good.
Fuck, dude, man. That Boston album is a modern marvel of fucking production. It is like the perfect fucking rock.
You talk about if you want to rank like top debuts.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, that's, you know, that and Thriller but I mean that Thriller was later, a couple years later, but I mean, you look at that first Boston album, every fucking song, start to finish, is an amazing earworm. There's amazing guitar sounds on there that no one's ever really duplicated. That was Tom Schull's genius in electrical engineering. You know what I mean? And it's like that to me would be right up near the top of perfect albums of all time, because it's just that fucking incredible, you know?
Yeah, it's the quintessential 70s sound, but it's just overall rock album. Like it's just everything about it, just between the performance, production, you know, Brad's vocals, like everything is just top notch.
Perfect, man. And I got to see them for Third Stage. Now Barry Goudreau had left, and I believe the drummer was still there, Sib. I think, I don't know if the bass player was the original guy, Fran, whatever his name was, but that was Third Stage. So that was the album that had the big hit, Amanda. Remember that song? I want to take you by surprise, make you realize
Amanda. Hiatus, right? They came back with that, and they had a bit of a hiatus, and they came back with that.
Well, no, they did. They put out Boston, then they put out Don't Look Back, and they had the big hit Don't Look Back, and then there was a gap there, and then they put out Third Stage. I want to say that was like 98. Does that sound right?
Third Stage? No, that was 80s, man.
Was it 89? 89.
mid to late 80s, something like that.
89, 89. It was
I had
80, 80.
I had a 45 of it way back
Yeah,
in
you're
the day.
right.
I
You're right.
remember.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You were totally right on. That was 80. I'm almost sure it was 88 or 89. Late 88, early 89.
I was
And
still at elementary school when I had that.
Yeah.
45. That's why I remember. It's
It's
like
the only time I saw them in Philly at the Spectrum, and Brad Delp was on vocals, and Gary Phil, who I think was in Sammy Hagar's solo band, Gary Phil, he was on the other guitar, and I can't remember. I can't remember the bass and drummer were the same or not, but I'll never forget this, man. We bought a lot of beer. We got like old mud pounders, and we're drinking, driving down like fucking dumbasses, and get to the parking lot. We drink more, and then we go in, and we watch the show. And we're pretty shit hammered. We get out to the car, and the traffic is crazy. I'm like, fuck it, let's just sit here and drink a beer or two. So we're hanging out, and all of a sudden, no joke, this crack whore, this poor woman, man, oh my God. She comes up to us, and she's like snooping around, fishing around. Can I get one of those? I'm like, man, you look like you're already pretty out there, hon. And she's like, you guys want blowjobs? I'll give you blowjobs, $20. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, is this for real, man? Like, this is really happening? So she was a crack whore, just awful. And we ended up staying like almost to the very end, like just sitting and chilling, and wasn't really that buzzed at this point in time, but a little bit. And I'm driving home, and my rear view mirror in my car had fallen off, so I hadn't replaced it yet. I'm driving home, and we got this cooler in the back with a bunch of empties in it and a few full ones. Camo said it's 86. Okay, 86.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, so no, I wasn't 21. 86, June of 2086, I'd have been 20. So I wasn't legal. I don't know if my friend was. I don't think he was. I think we got a buddy of his that had a fake ID to get us a case of old mud pounders. And we're driving home, and there's,
It was still 21 at the time. I guess.
Yeah, it was 21. Yeah, it was 21. And I would have I would have only been 20 when this happened. And all of a sudden, I'm driving along, and suddenly I see a cop car on my rear view on the side, the side mirror. And I'm like, what the fuck? Flashing lights. I pull over, and I'm like, oh my God.
Did you see that one red, man? It's over.
And of course, I had a beer in my hand, so I hand it to my buddy. He's got one, so he kind of sneaks that down around the side and puts the other one between his legs. This officer comes out, starts talking to me, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't you pull over? I'm like, well, my rearview mirror. And he's like, okay. I'm pretty buzzed. He looks in the back, sees the cans. He goes, you boys been drinking tonight? I'm like, we had a few at the show, but not since then. He's like, so he gets me out, and he runs me through the paces. I passed the test. No idea how that happened. No clue. Get in the car. We get out of there. I don't know how the guy didn't see the open beer between Dave's legs. I still don't get that. But we got out of there, and I think I got a ticket for like an $86 ticket for speeding or traveling, doing something. I don't remember what it was. Driving too fast for
$86 ticket in '86. I mean, what would that be in today's dollars?
Yeah, $500 ticket.
That would hurt. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those were the days, man. And I mean, but yeah, that first, oh fuck, my back is killing me now. That one and only Boston show I saw was fucking amazing, man. So I mean, the downside of that fact is that I'm almost 60 years old, so my end is near. But the good part of it was I got to see and live through and experience so many cool things. And here I didn't realize this, but Stevie Nicks was here in Hershey. You know, that's not far from where I live, maybe 25 miles. And she was at Hershey in June, or was supposed to be. And I guess she got rained out. And here I just found out today she was in Hershey last night. I would have gone and seen that. I would love to have gone and catch her, man. But I didn't find out about it until the day after. So mainly because I don't really stay tuned into the shows that are at those big venues where I know it's going to cost stupid money. The other one that came to mind real quick, and then we'll wrap up here, was the Maiden show in Philly. The nosebleed seats way up in tier 3 up there, where you're basically watching ants and you're mainly watching it on the big screens. 120.
If you had a big screen with the show, you're likely watching the screen more than the actual stage.
Yeah. $129.99 without fees. So you know that's going to be about $140 to sit way up there.
That's ridiculous.
And I know last time I saw Maiden was for Book of Souls.
Yeah, that would have been like what, 2015?
15, yeah. Lauren and I went down to see them in Philly, and those tickets, I remember we were on the lower bowl but towards the back, and they were $129. So much closer, much better. Ghost opened for him. That was good. That was a great show. I've only seen Maiden twice. And it's kind of weird because I almost saw them in '83 with Priest, but I got Poison Ivy. I've told that story before. That would have been my first time, but then I didn't go see them for real first time until the final. What was that called?
Final Frontier.
Final Frontier, yeah. Which I kind of often think is the worst album for me. I don't really like that album very much, other than the Blaze stuff, you know, that stuff. But yeah, it's weird. I've only seen them on the Final Frontier album and then the Book of Souls one, and every other time they've. And I would love to go see them next month. Well, yeah, next month, November. But man, I just don't really want to spend $300 for a ticket, for a good ticket. $300 is just insane to me.
That's the thing, man, and it won't get any cheaper. Like
you know, the merch there is going to be $45 for a T-shirt and $55 for a long sleeve and $95 for a hoodie, and beers are, you know, $22 for a 16-ounce beer, and water's $6 a bottle. It's like, you know, get the fuck out of here, man. Like that, just that whole concept of stuff is just.
It's like you're paying for inflated price products with in an inflated economy at the same time. It's like lose, but you know they know they got you. That's what it is. You're kind of in that high of seeing these favorite bands, and the merch is right there, right in front of you. It's right there. You just
right there.
Your wallet.
Look at how convenient it is. You don't have to pay a shipping fee. You don't have to wait. Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of merch, this just got in yesterday.
Oh yeah, man, the Lizzie.
Thin Lizzie, Vagabonds, and Warriors. All right, Rick, I should let you get to bed, man, because you got to get up for work.
I do work in a few hours. I took a long nap today. That's why I'm not as tired, and I did have a little bit of coffee here. I'm like, we're gonna do this collection update thing. I'm like, but it might go into overtime, which I was right, but I prepared.
No, we've actually been kind of just
I think how many
yakking.
We got like
we've been just kind of yakking now. We were at about, I think it was like 2:45 was the collection update stuff, that was kind of a fun way to do it, where we just kind of threw a bunch of stuff out there.
Do it anyway. For those who don't know, it's like I was thinking, okay, Saturday. Well, Logan had the deep dive, so it's okay. I don't like to come to your guys' own thing, right?
Sure, right.
But I saw you set up the stream for tonight, which I was already planning on doing like a unboxing and collection update solo stream.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I don't want to cut into your thing either.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's like, why don't we just do the collection update thing, and I'll do the unboxing tomorrow. But then you're doing Anathema tomorrow at the same time. So maybe I'll just do my unboxing thing earlier in the day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and just get that out of the way. And so I don't know. I think we'll be all right.
Eric, you're forgetting something. Rick has to get up for a 9 a.m. job. It's 1 a.m. here, dude. It's not.
You're all the way
You're
watching.
3 hours. You're 3 hours behind us, man. So I could keep going for quite a while, but Rick has got to get up for work. I can sleep all day if I want tomorrow.
Well, it's something like these. I wish I was like self-employed. I don't have to worry about fucking. I could set my own hours. Like
Yeah, that would be nice.
one,
Right?
one of these days, man. I'll get there eventually. I'll figure
That's
something.
the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal, right?
So
yeah. So I think. Let's see announcements. Is that what you just announced? What you got coming up, right?
yeah, doing the unboxing tomorrow. I got a lot of things going on with the channel. I'll probably do like a mini thing.
Are you doing it live? You're doing it live, the unboxing?
That was the plan. I was gonna do it live.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
You know, I did
Well,
again,
what time are you doing? What time are you doing that though?
I planned what did I schedule it? That's before I find out you're doing Anathema tomorrow.
Yeah,
So-
that's
so,
been scheduled for a while.
Yeah.
now.
So it looks like it's gonna kind of so I might just change the time to earlier. So maybe 7, 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah, we're starting at 8, and I would imagine we'll go. Yeah, I want to say 2.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say 2, but I don't think there's any chance we go only 2. I think it's going to be a 3-hour deal probably for each part. And actually, on part 2, I've got Jimmy's going to be joining for that part, and I may have Phil Tugas from Worm joining for that part too. So it's going to be more expanded. And then, so yeah, that's part 1 is tomorrow night for me at 8 p.m. Eastern. Part 2 of the Amorphous Deep Dive, wrapping up all the albums from Black, Silent Waters. I'm sorry, not Black Waters. Silent Waters. I was thinking of Black Waters from Doobie Brothers. I don't know why it just came into my head. But yeah,
that was the first one, right? With Tommy on.
second one.
What was the
First one was Eclipse.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Eclipse was 06 and Silent was 08, I think, or 09. That it's going from that album through the latest one that came out, Halo in 2020.
Oh yeah, you're right. I remember because I picked up that CD and the Catatonia CD the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What the hell was it? Great Cold Distance. Great Cold Distance.
Very cold. Yeah.
Same day.
Yeah.
It was 06.
Yep. So we're doing that, wrapping that up, and that's going to include me, Jimmy, Peter, the original from the first part, and then we've added from the Sea of Tranquility cast, we've added Nick Franco, who is going to join us, who's my buddy that I met down at Maryland Death Fest and hung out with a couple nights. We're going to have him on. He's actually good friends with some of the Amorphous dudes, who I'm hoping to see on the 5th of October. I've got 2 shows. I need to talk about that before we wrap up then at the end, Rick. Yeah, where was I going with all this? What the hell was I just saying?
No, you were just going over your show plans.
Oh, okay. Oh, show plans for the show. Yeah. And then there's a couple of cool guests I might be having on. I'm trying to get Cammie Beverly back on schedule for that interview because we had to call it off because of my COVID a couple weeks back.
And Ocean Slumber is getting some pretty good momentum too.
Good album, man. It's really, really good album. Really enjoyed that a lot. So I want to get her back on. I just found out Hooded Menace is going into the studio to cut their follow-up to the Tritona spell. yeah, so lots of exciting, fun stuff coming up. There's a Finnish band, a death Finnish band that's about to put an album out in October that I very well may be interviewing the main songwriter and main dude in said band. 3 words. I'll just stop there. But hopefully that's going to happen here. Man, there's a couple other interview situations that I'm working on. I've been trying to get at Frederick Ockerson or Michael Ockerfelt through normal channels, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. It doesn't seem it will. I would love to have somebody from Blood Incantation come on, maybe Isaac again or one of the other guys, to talk about the new album that's coming out next week, I think, right? I think October 4th, yeah. Next week.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought the drop was a little later.
Now, 4th. And man, that first half of the album is fucking unreal. It's mind blowing. So I'm stoked to, but I don't know if they'd come on. I'll have to see what Isaac says. Maybe he'll be game to jump on with Morris or Jeff or something like that, or Paul. Talk about the album a little bit, but so there's things I'm working on, not as hard as I sometimes have in the past. I have not been feeling very well at all. I just went on new medication that is supposed to help. I'm not noticing anything at all different, but I do think things are really slowly heading hard towards that end stage sort of situation.
Like, you just do what you can, man, when you can. It's not like
yeah. It's not like I'm getting paid to do this
if you set up like a what do you call it, a particular rigid schedule, you're just gonna set yourself up for disappointment,
Yeah, from lately it's just like some of the things I had planned over the pandemic, just I either couldn't do or I limped through. Like the Fulci interview, wasn't great.
You can tell those guys had a blast, man.
Oh yeah, that was fun though. They were cool. We enjoyed that. Very cool dudes. The Wandering Midget. What's that mean? I don't even know what that means.
That was the Mystery Doom band.
Oh, the Wandering Midget. Okay.
Announced. I know.
Oh yeah, the Wandering Midget. Yeah, sorry. I'm a little stoned, Eric. Not quickly catching on. That's not the band, the Wandering Midget, but good guess. You win the mystery bag. What's in the mystery bag? It's a mystery. Just give me your credit card details in the chat. I'll make sure you get your mystery bag. But now, it's still a lot of good albums to come, man. I mean, Opeth. I know a lot of people are going, Opeth, Boreth, whatever. I still love Opeth. They're my gateway death metal band. I'll always love Opeth, and I think Michael's a genius, and so I'm sure it's going to be good. Swallow the Sun. New album coming in October.
Man, I can't even keep up. There's just so many.
Yeah, there's a couple other. I'm trying to think of a couple other biggies that are, well, obviously Blood Incantation and something else. Oh, I'm blanking out. There's something else coming out that's pretty bigly in the death metal, extreme metal vein, but yeah, so
cool.
Anyway, man, I think we're gonna wrap up there. Rick,
everybody who joined,
yeah, cool. Thanks for everybody who was here. I think please stop by on the Anathema deep dive tomorrow night. Again, including Derek Vella of Tomb Mold and Dream Unending, and Steve Jansen of Crypt Sermon and Daiva. They're going to be my special guests, and we're going to go through the 1990 through 2001 era of Anathema. And yeah, so good fun there. Should be had by all tomorrow night at 8 p.m. starting at 8 p.m. And then when I'm done, you can roll over and watch Rick do his collection or VCLT thing, something like that. Or maybe you can watch him first.
I'll be on first, and
Yeah, watch him first, and then jump on and watch us. So
I don't think many will stick to a sudden live at 3 in the morning.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So, all right, man. So thanks everybody for being here. Rick, hang on a minute. We'll catch you. Hope to catch some of you tomorrow night or Thursday night. And everybody, keep buying music, man. What else there is there to do?
What melts your mind?
Why? Yeah, it melts your mind. Why save money? It's just the dumbest concept ever. So, all right, peace out, guys.